Not going to trust Restream for the next 10 seconds or so
Give it a
because I've been
buffer.
dicked before. You got to give it a buffer. Buffer it. But that's probably enough of a buffer. So here comes the part where I say, "Hi, I'm Trevor, and welcome to Catching Up on Cinema." If you aren't familiar with the program, Catching Up on Cinema is a film analysis podcast wherein we introduce each other to films, expand our cinematic horizons, and, in essence, catch up on our cinema. So it is the month of September 2025, and is once again that very special time of the month wherein we do our very special Tales from the Shelf episode. And in joining me in this endeavor, I have my good buddy Brad from the Cinema Speak podcast. How's it going, Brad?
It's going great. Thanks again for having me on another very special edition of Tales from the Shelf. Glad to be with you, Trevor, and glad to be back here as always.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that we were able to do this together. As it so happens, my boy Brad here is a newlywed. He very recently got married, and of course, that's a thing that occupies quite a lot of your schedule. So I kind of went through this month not expecting to have you available to me to do this thing that we do every month, which is fine. You have a
Yeah,
life. You were getting married. I can accept that you have a life outside of doing this podcast.
yeah. Well, we had talked about how in the past it's like we've never missed a month, blah blah blah. And I knew I was like, I'm probably going to be busy this month. And I actually, you say it's not on me. It was a little on me because I had an idea for a guest backup, and I accidentally failed to put the two of you in touch with one another. So I'm going to take the fault there. And I realized, a few days ago, I'm like, ah, crap. So I'm like, you know what? I'm free. I can do it, and we'll do that. I'll take a month off some other time or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm glad to be back here because honestly, after the wedding, I got nothing but time, so I'm good.
Well, very happy you're here, bud. Always, you're my first choice when it comes to doing this show. Open to having other guests, but you're my go-to. We've been doing this together for a really long time. Like you said, really haven't missed an episode since we started the whole damn thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess I'll just pause for a second to say congratulations in a public
Thank
venue.
you, thank you.
Congrats
Yeah, I
on the
appreciate
wedding.
it.
That's
Yep.
a lovely thing. I'm looking forward to my own, like almost like a year from now. But it was really fun having you to, commiserate with and just kind of like touch base with, trade notes with, for the whole wedding planning aspect of things. Like it was nice having a buddy to actually bounce stuff off of.
Yeah. Hey, I'm still here for advice. I don't know if it'll be good advice, but I can tell you everything from a somebody who's gone through the gauntlet recently. So I'm here if you need me.
I'm half expecting you to just like mind wipe yourself, where it's like, oh, I don't remember anything from
That
that phase of my life.
that might be the case. Hey, you'll be like, "Hey, what'd you do about or this part of the way?" I'm like, "We did that. I don't even really." Yeah,
I was like, we had a photographer.
yeah,
What are you talking about? Like somebody neuralized you or something
yeah.
after the
Yep.
wedding.
It is a bit of a blur, so you're not too far off.
That's what I've been told, is that it's all this build up and then the day of just kind of goes a little too quick.
Hmm.
So we're trying to cheat a little bit and extend things just here and there, like in the before and after. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day, not for a podcast about movies. As you may have noticed, dear viewer, hopefully, maybe listener, but uh, I have a lovely background image here, and that fella, that that fella in the bottom center of the screen there is yelling, "This guy, this is my kind of guy." That is a Studio Ghibli rendition of Frank Costanza uh, from the Seinfeld TV show. And it comes from a quote of his, which is actually kind of the inverse of that, where Brad uses it all the time. I use it all the time. Brad, would you care to deliver the original unaltered version of the line just so
He
people know, get the reference?
he says, "This guy, this is not my kind of guy."
Yeah, I say it all the time. Brad says it all the time. It lives as a part of us through every day. Um, so we're going to be talking about not that. We're going to be talking about our kind of guys. Like this guy is my kind of guy. So we're going to be talking about, this is kind of an esoteric subject, so excuse me if I do a poor job of explaining it, but in the film industry, like both in front of and behind the camera, there's affinities that emerge. Like you just there's certain people that just have a way about them or a certain stylistic flourish or something that just makes you gravitate to them personally. Or I'm not talking about like person, although maybe you have some of those picks where it's just like this human being interests me, as opposed to like their performances or their art or something. But maybe just the person has a lovely soul or something, or is just like bizarre in a in a way that captures you in some way.
Mhm.
But today we're going to be talking about like specific individuals in film who just like we I don't know have a particular attachment to for whatever reason. So a lot of these picks, in my case, I just kind of like grabbed everything I had from each of these people. So these picks are we're going to be talking about movies from our collections. If you're not aware of the concept of the show, basically Brad and I are going to be playing show and tell with our respective physical media collections. That would be DVDs, Blu-ray, and 4K discs and whatnot. But these picks are going to be people as opposed to movies. But of course, we're going to be using movies as a foundation to talk about them. So if all that makes sense, I guess we can move forward. So, hey, Brad, how about you share your first your kind of guy or gal or whoever or whatever?
Well, I'll tell you, my brain with this, I don't know if this is where your brain kind of immediately went, and this isn't obviously what every single one of my picks is, but my brain immediately went to character actors, you
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
because it's like, oh yeah, I love whenever that person pops up on screen. And I would say within the last probably decade or so, one of my favorite character actors, if not my favorite character actor of recent years, is Michael Smiley, who I first discovered in the film Kill List, which I have a recently purchased 4K here from our friends at Severin Films. Very excited when this came on 4K here. I'm gonna flip this over so you can.
Yep, yep.
There we
Brad
go.
generally mirrors his webcam feed, so we'll adjust that for show and tell.
And I'm also going to um dig into this thing because I know I ain't returning this package. I literally just got this. I want to say week or two ago. So I haven't had a chance to open it. But Kill List, uh, one of my favorite horror movies of the last 15 years or whatever. And a big part of it is the performances. And I really do think Michael Smiley is a standout as the lovable best friend gal. I want to say his name is. I could be wrong, but um, really kind of became a fan of him there. He's been in a lot of other stuff. He was in The World's End, which I own. Recently had a brief small role on Alien Earth, which I don't own, but he was in that. And yeah, he's been in a bunch of other stuff too. Uh, The Lobster, I own that one. I didn't pull off every single one of each of these people's um, films that I own because I thought that would have been too much for me. I didn't put in the effort. But Free Fire, Rogue One, this guy he pops up in so many great places, and I'm always a fan of his when he pops up. And yeah, I'd say he's got to be one of my favorite character actors working today.
Yeah, Michael Smiley. I said this actually to my fiance when we were on the couch watching Alien Earth. I pointed out to her that I was like, I think I've liked this guy in everything I've seen him in.
Hmm.
Like he just has a way about him that just he stands out. And yes, he's largely a character actor, but he's like one of those perfect supporting role actors where I mean maybe he has in him to be a leading man or something, but man, he is so good at being second banana.
He's
Oh,
see him right there on
in
the
the
back of
center.
the back of the box.
He looks like
Um,
a kind of a haggard Tim Roth.
yeah, he does have Tim Roth vibes to him.
He does.
I'm not going to show the front of the Kill List case because I would say that is a borderline spoiler, but that's what the inside looks like. So pretty good.
And that's
Um,
from Severin?
Severin, yeah, and I will say I also bought the so how Severin does it with their sales is they often do bundles. I did buy the Kill List bundle. I had to do it because I'm such a Kill List fan, which came with a Kill List T-shirt, which has this. This is the design of the shirt, um, which somebody did point out, not really something you would wear in probably in public much, just because of, I mean, I guess maybe some people wouldn't have an issue with it, but I would feel a little weird wearing a
It's a
shirt
gun.
with a
Yeah.
gun on it. I mean, not really my style, but, it is a cool design, and, I'll wear it for lounging around the house and, you know, going over to some friends' houses for kombucha or something like that. But yeah, probably won't wear this one out in public too often. But, it also the bundle, I have to go grab it. It's right over here. So, Trevor, if you wanna vamp for a second, it came with a pin. I got the bundle. I had to get the Kill List pin. So let me go grab that and show that to you.
All right. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say about Michael Smiley beyond I generally like the man, but he was very good in Free Fire. Uh, Very fun ensemble in that one. Kill List is where I first took notice of him, and I have Brad to thank for introducing me to that film. Oh, we got our visual aid up.
There's the pin.
Oh, that is pretty snazzy.
I mean, I looked at, like, how much, the price of getting the 4K and the shirt separate were, and the bundle was, like, $2 extra. And I'm like, "Well, spend $2 extra, I'll get the pin." And I'm like the Kill List #1 fan, so I had to do it. If I didn't do it, I was gonna lose my fan status, so I had to do it. Had to get the
Yeah.
pin.
I mean, it helps that it's an excellent film,
Yeah.
and as far as I know, like it didn't have a great physical media release prior to that one, so it's like
No.
kind of like a huzzah kind of moment. Like may as well go balls out because it is a movie you love, and I do too. Like I said, Brad introduced me to that one. That was an instance where Brad came onto my show and he reviewed it with me for catching up on cinema. So I have
Oh, we
him to
did?
thank for that. Yeah,
I don't
we
even remember that.
you got wedding brain. You're erasing aspects of your memory to it's like a self-preservation thing.
Now that you say that, I do kind of remember us talking about it, but if you had asked me if it had been a full episode, or I would not have been able to tell you.
I think it had something to do with the fact that we did Free Fire or we're going to do Free Fire. And
Mhm.
you like the director. And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
by the way, he did a much better movie called Kill List. And I
I
hadn't
would
seen it.
I would argue potentially maybe it's his only good movie. 'Cause
That I think that came up in the discussion when we talked about Kill List was that like amazing promise, like
Yeah,
holy shit, that's like a great early film to have on your ledger, but I don't know what he's done since, honestly. Like Free Fire was a big deal, but it's not that great. Like
no.
it's a really fun concept, decent execution. The cast is like punching hugely above its weight, but it just doesn't fully come together. But yeah, I don't recall his name, and I don't know what he's been up to.
Yeah, I remember kind of liking Sightseers. That was his follow-up to Kill List. A Field in England is okay. I think Michael Smiley's in that too.
Oh,
High
must be
Rise
his
I
lucky
wasn't a
charm.
fan of. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about High Rise, but
But, Ben Wheatley is somebody. If we had
Ben
done
Wheatley.
this, uh, 8 years ago, I may have, like, said Ben Wheatley is my kinda guy, just because of
Mm.
Kill List. And I've had that recently, with a few other directors where I kind of champion them because I love one of their early films so much, and then I realize, like, I think I only like that one film. I actually don't think I like them. I just the guys who did Haunt, their follow-up movies have not been great, and I'm kinda like, I think I just like Haunt. I think, I'm not a fan of theirs. I just really like Haunt. Like, that's it?
I mean,
So,
that's art for you. It's like sometimes you can like lightning strikes exactly one time, and that's like,
mhm.
oh shit. But the people with longevity that just I guess just bolsters their importance in the field all that more. Where it's just like, wow, this is a rare thing when you think about somebody who can consistently put out like amazing work. Consistency is underrated, honestly.
Now, I will say, Ben Wheatley apparently has a film that came out, it premiered at TIFF this year,
Oh,
and, I don't know anything about it except I'm just looking at the cast. It stars Bob Odenkirk and Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm kind of intrigued there. I think
Yeah,
it's
you have my interest and my attention.
crime thriller, it says.
Oh wait, I think I know what this movie is. It's Bob Odenkirk is like a small town something or other. Like he's like a small town sheriff or something, and he like walks into a really nasty situation or something.
Yes, it looks like
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it sounds kinda like a Free Fire-ish kinda scenario maybe. I
Okay.
don't I remember hearing about, like, some buzz about it from TIFF, which is
Uh,
surprising. I don't honestly pay too much attention to film festival stuff.
I'm gonna give my boy Mr. Ben Wheatley one last chance. This is your last chance, bud. I've said that before, but this is really your last chance.
If the Fonz throws a punch in anger or shoots someone in the fucking face, it's like, that's a whole extra star.
Yeah.
You know how I have this bizarre fascination with non-action people doing action? Like if John Lovitz suplexes someone in a movie, that is automatically a 5 star.
Oh yeah.
If
Oh
Henry
yeah.
Winkler ground and pound someone, that's a 5 star. That's a 5 banger.
I hope he's the villain. I feel like
I
that's
think he might be because
that
I'm thinking like Albert Brooks in Drive or
yeah.
something, where it's like cast the
I'm
the guy you wouldn't expect to have that kind of role. He's the friendliest fucking man on the planet.
mhm.
Henry
I'm
Winkler is the warmest, nicest man on the planet. Cast him
man.
as the bad guy and give him a switchblade.
Henry Winkler actually came to one town over from mine to promote his book not that long ago. I think it was a
Yeah,
book. And uh, apparently people could like there was no meet and greet. It was just like you could just walk up and just talk to him. Like it was just very
just say hi to the Fonz, kiss the ring,
yeah. And now
kiss the jacket.
I'm regretting that I didn't go because I was like, oh, what? You got to pay $100 to get a picture with him? Like I'm
No,
not into that. But people were like, no, no, he was just you could just walk up and just say hi and shake his hand. And I'm like, oh, I could have
yeah.
asked him about the Ben Wheatley film. I could have gotten the scoop. He would have been shocked. He said,
Yeah, you could have gotten
you're
a
not
hug
asking me
from the Fonz.
yeah, you're not asking me about Happy Days or Barry or anything. You're gonna ask me about the new Ben Wheatley movie. He'd be excited, he'd be ecstatic.
I think you and I are aligned on that, where it's like if you're gonna meet a celebrity, you gotta toss them a curveball.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
you have to ask them some esoteric something or other that they'll just be like, "What?" Because really, I mean, from my standpoint, it's like they've heard all of this. Like anything you can think of, they've heard it 1,000, 10,000 times or something.
Mhm.
So why not ask them some stupid, crazy bullshit that they've never gotten before?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Alright.
yeah, Michael Smiley though, if he came to town, I would not miss out on I might actually pay to meet him. I would not miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. I'm thinking like maybe we should try to do like a screen share or something for like these people's faces or something.
Oh, that's
So
not a
like
bad idea.
so like people know who Michael Smiley is.
I wonder,
Um,
is he on Cameo?
oh my god, that'd be great. Well, Brad is looking into that. We have a couple of comments here from our favorite Stu Walker, or Scott Walker. Squeeze me, Scott. So, hey guys, how yous doing today? Very excited for Scream 7. Oh baby, I'm happy Matthew Lillard is returning, and I'm hoping to God Stu is alive. One of the commuters in the Scream community craving something scary died today. He was the believers who was alive in the godfather of the horror community. Rest in peace, Craven. Misspelled Craven. Or no, you didn't. But anyway, I was thinking Craven the Hunter. um, Stu is Matthew Lillard's character, correct?
Yep. Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, seems like everybody's coming back. Like that seems to be in vogue, so why not? And Matthew Lillard, like his stock has risen in the years since. Like there was the '90s where he was Shaggy, and he was SLC Punk. But in years since, it's like for fuck's sake, he's worked with David Lynch. Like he's got street cred now, and he's pretty good actor.
Yeah.
He was just locked into a lane there for a very long time in the '90s when he was most prominent.
He's got a few waves of nostalgia about him too. You know, he's got his Scream fans, his SLC Punk fans, but also I tell you, there's a lot of people who love him as Shaggy, and there's like a huge, Matthew Lillard. Am I allowed to say hard on for Matthew Lillard going
Yeah,
on right
boner.
now for Shaggy? People are really they love. I think more than anything, people, because I see so many people just sharing and memes and the best casting of all time, Matthew. No, best for like, and so anyway.
Yeah, no, that whole those 2 movies actually have a pretty decent cultural footprint because I do see a lot of clips passed around about them,
Hmm.
and also James Gunn is, tied into them as well, so they've been, relitigated in recent years. In my day, I was exactly the wrong age for them, so I didn't even give them the time of day, and also, we had a thing in my household that my mom had a she had a thing against Scooby Doo. She was like, "He's gonna make you dumb." I was like, "What?" Just like, "Get that out of my house." So I could watch
Wow.
all the Transformers and GI Joe, all of that shit. I could watch all of that stuff. But Scooby Doo, I remember my little cousin tried to bring home a tape from Blockbuster, and my mom was like, "Pick something else." She's
Ouch.
like, "No."
Ouch.
I was like,
That
"Damn,
that
mom."
was a bridge too far for your mom.
I don't know exactly what the deal was, but she had it out for Scooby Doo.
Interesting. I was a big Scooby Doo. We were a big Scooby Doo household growing up for sure.
Oh, wow, we have a Twitch comment. I don't know if we've ever gotten one of those, honestly, that was
Nice.
legit. Like, we've gotten plenty of bots, but, GZDR4ev says, "Lillard was also in Five Nights at Freddy's." Yeah, I think I learned that maybe from I believe you reviewed that with Santino, I presume,
Sounds about
for
right.
Cinema Speak? I
Sounds
mean,
sounds like one he'd review.
if it has lore
Yeah.
that can be dumped over the course of 3 hours of podcasting, then Santino was probably on deck for that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have never rubbed up on the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise in the slightest. But yeah, I did hear that he was in that. I don't know if he was good in it, but it's a thing he did recently. Scott returns to say, "I've got some very interesting news. Stu's house is going to be an Airbnb, but the people staying there and are getting attacked by Ghostface people think it's Stu. The house will catch fire. So it's an Airbnb, but people are kind of spooked to go there."
I gotta say, if Scott's intel is correct, I actually kind of like that premise. I have to say, I kind of like that. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, they could do a Halloween resurrection kind of thing where it's like
Hmm.
it's a fake haunted house, but wait, it's a real
Yeah.
haunted
Yeah.
house
I
or
think
some
I think it's
shit.
gonna
Like
be
then
fun.
Busta Rhymes has to show up and
Yeah.
beat Matthew Lillard's ass with his bare fucking hands. Matthew Lillard said, "Scream 7 does well, even though he he will be interested in returning for a Scream 8, Scream 9, and 10. I believe Scream 7 is going to be on a cliffhanger." I mean, it's franchise filmmaking, baby. That's
Hmm.
how we do. Um, do you want to talk about Alien Earth for a minute, or should we move on from Michael Smiley?
I will tell you that I have not much to talk about because I have not continued watching it. I mean,
Okay.
mostly just because of wedding stuff.
Yeah,
But
you were a little busy.
I will say I have not been compelled to continue watching it. So
Yeah, we finished it. I watched the first 2 episodes by myself, and then my fiance agreed to watch it with me because she knows I'm am deeply embedded in the franchise. It's something. It's like Scott Walker with Scream. Clearly, he loves Scream and Free Willy
mhm.
and Jurassic Park and Jurassic World by extension. I love Alien, like the comic books, the video games, the whole bit, like the whole extended franchise, all the lore, as Santino would say. I bite for it,
Yep.
and yeah, it it has moments, but yikes, everybody online would seems to be agreeing that it does not stick any sort of real landing. Um, but
Yeah.
it has moments for sure. Uh, and there's actually several very, very, very good performances in there. It's just the way the season is structured it doesn't give them anywhere to go really.
Yeah.
So it's like clearly like these people are like inhabiting these scenes really beautifully, but there's no cohesion, I guess is what I'm getting at. But
Yeah.
Scott intrudes by saying, "I don't think Stu will reveal himself in 7, but you'll get away. He will reveal himself in 8." I mean, I I don't see slasher franchise folks as being long-term planners. That's kind of the horror, like the slasher tradition is like quick and dirty. Just churn them out. Just get them out
Mhm.
there. So it's like if we have access to Matthew Lillard, I would think they would just put him out there. It's like
Yeah.
if we can get any of these people to agree to come back, get him out there. Just sell it. Slap it on a plastic lunchbox and sell it.
Use him while the stock is high.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
mean, that would have been like what 3 years, 5 years ago. Like whenever Twin Peaks: The Return happened, probably would have been the time. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I suppose the pick is finally to me, Michael Smiley. We got a lot of mileage out of that
Yeah.
guy.
And he's not on Cameo. I looked. I couldn't find him on Cameo.
Aw, seems like a really cool guy. Like I said, every time I've seen him in anything, he stands out and he's good.
Mhm.
He's a
Mhm.
solid guy to have on your bench. Um, so unfortunately, I don't think he's watching right now. Oh wait, Scott needs our opinion right now. Scott Walker says, "I need you guys' opinion right now. Do you think Stu is alive or no?" Uh, Brad, you know the Scream franchise better than I do. Although I have seen all of them. I did actually finally get around to watching the one in New York the other like few months ago, I think. Is
Uh,
Stu alive or dead?
I'm gonna say no. That's
He's
that's my
he's dead.
opinion. I think he's dead.
I think he's dead.
Mhm.
Um I mean, that's pretty hard to come back from. I mean, I seen that chick in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, get killed by a TV to the face. I seen Matthew Lillard get killed with a TV to the face in the first Scream. I seen Dan Aykroyd go down to a TV to the face. Now, Scott, you need to remember these are tube television. These are CRT televisions. These are not no LCDs. Like I mean, those are highly toxic. Like all that goop inside there is highly
Yeah.
toxic. So I guess that would off you pretty good. But it doesn't have the weight, the
Mhm.
heft. I have core memories of having to move the 27-inch Sony television in my parents' living room. That thing was a beast. It lived in that living room for decades because nobody wanted to move it because nobody could until I
Yeah.
came of age, you see. So yeah, I think getting stabbed in the gut and having a CRT television dropped on your fucking face that's probably enough. That'll probably do
Mhm.
it. And Skeet died. Like Skeet's been dead for years.
Mhm.
My fiance and Trish are one of those fans who believe Stu was the one who attacked and killed Dewey in the hospital scene in Scream 5. We are one of those people who believe it was him. Matthew Lillard's a pretty tall guy. Like I seem to remember the ghost face not being towering that. How would you guys for a feel if you're in the movie theater and you saw the reveal and it was two? How would you guys both feel? I mean,
I I'd feel like a fool because I was wrong. I'd
yeah,
feel
I'd
like
be
a
like, damn
fool.
it, Scott was right the whole time.
Yep. Yep. That's how I'd feel.
Anyway, Scott, apologies, but we're moving on to talk about someone else besides Matthew Lillard. Again, apologies. Thank you for watching, though. So again, unfortunately, I don't think he's watching right now. But Levi, your captain speaking. My buddy from the Red Cow Arcade and Entertainment YouTube channel, fellow editor. I talk to him on Discord often. He's a very cool guy. He's been on the show at least once. I'm going to have him back. That's settled. Um, we were talking about this fella just the other day, and I looked at my shelf and I was like, "Shit, I got a lot of that guy's movies." So he must work for me on some level. So without further ado, I am going to talk about another character actor, kinda, Ray Stevenson.
Hmm.
So this is the 4K, and it has the Marvel Knights imprint on it, by the way. The very, very, very short-lived Marvel Knights emblem. I wish Santino was here. He would probably have thoughts on this. I think
Mhm.
there were only 3, maybe 4 movies that bore this emblem. Because I want to say the Man Thing movie was a Marvel Knights, the Sci-Fi Network movie that nobody fucking saw because it was garbage. There was this, and then Elektra, I think may have been the other one. Anyway, aesthetically speaking, Ray Stevenson's Punisher is correct. Like, this is about as comic accurate as it gets. This movie is hokey in a lot of ways. It's very, very gory, and the action is staged very, very well. This is from director Lexi Alexander, who also did Green Street Hooligans. I don't think she did very much. Like, speaking of people who like started off really good and then kind of petered out, I think she's one of those cases where Green Street Hooligans is a pretty decent movie. Like, it's a pretty good drama. Um, and I think she had a stunt background, or at the very least, she was a kickboxer at one point. So she's very adept at handling the action and whatnot. But Ray Stevenson is, again, aesthetically, maybe not from a performance standpoint, but he's good. He's very, very good. But just to look at the guy in the costume, lit the way he is in the movie, this is the best Punisher we've had on screen in terms of how he looks. Like, say, like, I'm sure there's plenty of arguments for like John Bernthal being like the de facto Punisher or whatever. But point is, I like Ray Stevenson.
Mhm.
Case in point, I have this many movies that he's in. Now, it is worth pointing out uh, he has very small roles in virtually all of these. Like, for instance, these three are just the Thor movies, one of which I got at a used bookstore, by the way. Thor: The Dark World is no one's favorite Marvel movie. He plays Volstagg in the MCU movies, and to be honest, like he's the only one of Thor's crew who kind of stands out a little bit. In fact, there was one of those folks who I think was recast at a certain point. But he got to hang around for the whole franchise. Basically, didn't really do much of note other than be wearing a fat suit and be jolly. But hey, that was more than most of those other people did. And Tadanobu Asano was one of those people, and he's like Japanese acting royalty. But they gave him fuck all to do. That was kind of embarrassing. It's like, why are you here? Um, but in addition to that, I also have a couple other small movies that I guess might be worth mentioning. So this one, this one's a funny one. Uh, Final Score. Ray Stevenson plays like kind of the chief villain in this one. He was kind of stuck performing that duty in the late 2000s, early 2010s. That was kind of his go-to. I think a lot of it had to do with just his stature and like the timbre of his voice. Because I don't own it because it's not a good movie, but GI Joe Retaliation, the second live action GI Joe movie, I think he plays Firefly in that. And while he is having fun in that role, he's clearly just picked probably because in terms of his stature and build, it doesn't look embarrassing for him to throw punches at The Rock. Unlike other folks, where it's just like it just from an aesthetic standpoint just looks wrong to
Yeah.
cast someone opposite him. Ray Stevenson's a very big guy. Um, Lovely speaking voice too. Also, he has a very small role in Memory, this very
Mhm.
late era Martin Campbell movie, which is very, very low budget but kind of fun. But a couple of the movies that I was talking about with Levi, again from the Red Cow network or Red Cow channel on YouTube, were the Accident Man movies. And of course, I bring them up because Scott Adkins headlines the Accident Man movies, and in fact, I think is like a core producer on them. The second one was one of those Malta action movies. There was that like the year of Malta, Brad. We talked about this before, where it's just like for some reason, like 2023 or something, Hollywood went to Malta, and I
Yeah.
think I think you have a buddy who is Maltese, like
Yep.
has family there or something.
Yep, yep, and I wanna say he's visited there as well.
Yeah,
He's traced his roots back there, but, yeah, because it was the Jurassic World movie was there. I'm trying to think because I do remember even before we had talked about it, like, just, knowing that Malta is I know somebody whose family's from there or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, that's odd that we're getting a lot of Malta lately." I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but this one's one of them?
yeah. This one, Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday, was filmed in Malta,
Oh,
and indeed, a lot of the same locations from Jurassic World Dominion are in it. Um, Both actually decent movies. The first Accident Man was embarrassing, frankly, to watch with my fiance because I didn't real I watched these movies by myself, Brad, and just as a dude sitting on the couch watching an action movie, you don't think about these things, but then like the crassness of the dialogue and like the bold-faced misogyny in the film was like, "Oh, fuck." It didn't register with me when I watched it by myself.
Yeah.
And then, I was thrilled. I got my fiance to agree to watch a Scott Adkins movie with me. That's super rare. So of course you say yes to that opportunity. And then we put it on. I'm like, oh fuck, the shit coming out of these guys' mouth is just rotten. like, like this is not intended for female audiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of these movies are actually pretty good. This one's actually quite excellent. The second one. And Ray Stevenson is in both of them. And he elevates the production so much. And that's, I guess, part of why I'm talking about him is that he has small roles in almost all of these movies I've highlighted, but you notice him and he contributes and he makes something of the material. It's like his character is very thin in both of these movies, but he brings some like legit dramatic chops to it and like makes you feel stuff in a pair of movies you didn't really expect you would feel anything except for like, whoa, he did a spin kick or something. And
Yeah.
that just seems to be like the common thread through his filmography. Unfortunately, he did pass away a few years ago. Very unfortunate timing too, because I think he was starting to gain more notoriety. Because for fuck's sake, he was on a Star Wars TV show, and he did quite a lot of work in television that I did not watch. I think he may have been on Rome or something, but um,
Dexter, he was the main
Dexter.
villain in one of the seasons of Dexter. So
See, I
that's where
didn't
I
see that, but that's huge. Dexter is, like, unfathomably popular.
yeah. And this
People
was like
love Dexter.
this
They've
was
killed that show 5 times, haven't they?
yeah, oh yeah, and still it keeps coming back. And this was the OG. This was like when Dexter was at its height.
Good
Um
Dexter.
yeah. I mean, it was already a little over the hill by then, but yeah, I really like him as well, and he is an actor that I don't know if it's just because he's from across the pond. I don't
Mhm.
know, but he has just this sort of like gravitas about him. Like somebody when he's on screen, it's like you pay attention. Like this guy's the real deal. So I'm actually kind of surprised, no shade to Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday. But I'm actually surprised that he wasn't more respected before he passed because I do really think that he's always a welcome screen presence, and I don't know if he just wasn't given amazing opportunities, but I feel like he was a really good actor, and I feel like he had a great look about him, and yeah, like great voice as well. Like I'm surprised he didn't become a bigger deal. Like you said, he was maybe getting there with the Star Wars stuff at the end, um, but it's like I feel like this guy should have been a star. Maybe not like a star, but like in terms of like maybe being like the villain in these bigger films. Yeah, I'm just surprised that he was kind of always a little under the radar.
Yeah, it kinda puzzled me too, although I think at his passing, I think we saw kind of like acknowledgement. Like, unfortunately, it didn't really manifest, hugely in a public fashion until he died.
Hmm.
Um, but there was a very strong outpouring of appreciation when he passed. Like you could tell that like people he registered with people. People noticed him. People liked him. But yeah, gravitas is the word. Like he just has a way about him. That's mostly what we're talking about here today, I presume. It's just people who just have that was it je ne sais quoi or whatever. Or just
Hmm.
like there's something about this guy. This is my kind of guy. and Ray Stevenson had the stature. His face had wonderful lines. His voice, as we talked about, it was a huge selling point. Also, there was a playful quality to his performances that showed some degree of range as an actor. Like he wasn't like a Steven Seagal type where he was so self serious that he couldn't do. He would be inflexible. Like for instance, GI Joe. He's doing like a southern like deep South accent in that, and he's really taking it for a walk.
Mhm.
And clear, like he's British, like that's clearly not his natural speaking voice, but he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do something with this, and you can tell he's having fun with it. And kind of an obscure movie. I don't own it, so I can't show it. But Kyle and I reviewed a movie called Cold Skin, where he plays kind of a almost like an Ahab type figure in it, where he kind of is unhinged and losing his mind a little bit,
Ooh.
like about guys like and sea monsters, kind of like I won't go into detail about, but it was Kyle picked it. It's kind of an obscure movie, but it was interesting. Like it was an interesting watch. And also I don't own it, but it bears mentioning the other guys. Brad,
Mhm.
was it Marky Mark and Will Ferrell?
That's a big
Uh,
one. I don't remember him in it, but I know that is a pretty beloved film from a lot of people.
Now, see, I did watch it. I remember Michael Keaton being hilarious
Mhm.
in most of his scenes in it. I remember, I think The Rock has a cameo in it that was brief but hilarious. Uh, but also, Ray Stevenson, if this is the movie I'm thinking of, plays an Aussie. Like he's playing an Australian in it. He's playing like an Australian assassin or something, and he has like this amazing line. He's like, I forget exactly what it is, so I can't quote it precisely, but it's something about there's like two things that he loves in this world, and one is like the I don't know the cold stare of in someone's eyes right before I kill him, and no, it's the dimples above a woman's ass and Kylie Minogue. There's two things I love in this world: Kylie Minogue, those little dimples above a woman's ass. And he's like this big, burly, scary assassin, and it's just like what, what?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if that was written. I don't know if that was improvised, but his delivery of it lives rent free in my brain. It's
That's
tremendous.
good. Yep.
Also, uh, he's not in this movie that I'm about to hold up, but Levi actually he told me this. I didn't know this because I make an annual trip to the Portland Retro Game Expo. Funny enough, like on that trip, not at the expo, I'm not that much of a nerd, but on that trip in Portland is where I proposed to my fiance. So now our annual tradition doubles as an annual like engagement celebration. Um, David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid games, is going to be there, and I am going to get his autograph. I don't normally, speaking of like Henry Winkler, like meet and greet stuff. I don't generally do meet and greets. Like I just don't. I get nervous in those circumstances. I wouldn't know the first thing about how to comport myself in those circumstances, and there
Mhm.
aren't that many people that are that like my guy, where it's like there's tons of celebrities out there at every like expo or convention you'll ever go to, but it's like very few of them are like people that it's like I want to meet that guy. Like that
Yeah.
guy means something to me. And David Hayter means something to me. His voice lives rent free in my head forever. Like it kind of life changing stuff. Anyway, David Hayter is a screenwriter. He wrote the first Bryan Singer X Men. I think he was also involved in X2 as well. And I did not know this until Levi told me, but apparently he also wrote a treatment or a script for Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I have here the director's cut. Um, Ultimately, his script would be referenced, I think, in the film that ended up getting made. But they actually filmed like test footage. They filmed like a test scene of the character of Rorschach and Night Owl. They're like a conversation between the two of them, and they shot the whole thing like. And Ray Stevenson is under the Rorschach mask, and it's a little
Really?
unnerving seeing a Rorschach that's like 6'3" or 6'5" as opposed to 5'5". But he's doing something with the material, and he does something with it. Like I
Hmm.
was very impressed. Like clearly they didn't have like the production value that the Zack Snyder movie had, but that interpretation, Levi was the one who had told me, it's worth a read, worth a look. Apparently, it was very, very good, and it would have been interesting in an alternate universe to see Ray Stevenson as opposed to Jackie Earl Haley play that character.
Yeah, that's interesting because yeah, I'm sure he does a great job. I am having trouble imagining it though, because it has to be pretty different from how Jackie Earle Haley does it. I'm guessing, right? Like,
Very different.
Yeah.
Very, very, very different. Because Jackie Earle Haley's, he's like doing gravelly, like
Yeah.
talking down. He's like doing the grim dark like noir narration kind of thing. But Ray Stevenson is actually like a little bit softer. And but there's a lot more range in how he's conveying
Hmm.
the emotional aspects of things, where it's like he does have those moments where he gets pitch black dark, but there's also like an unhinged like vulnerability there, which is very unexpected. But it kind of grabs you. It's kind of neat. Like I can send you a link if you want. Levi
No,
sent it to me.
yeah,
I
I'd
didn't
like to
know it
see it.
existed, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, send it my way. I'll check it out.
All right. Well, we're like 45 minutes deep and we've done two picks. So I guess I guess let's move on to pick number 3. Hey Brad, who's your next who's your guy? Who you got on deck?
All right, this one might be my number one guy, maybe.
Your number one
All things
guy.
all things considered.
Brad,
Um,
pause. Do you have that on your soundboard
no, I don't think so. No.
from Batman 89? And you are my number one guy.
No, I don't. I should
Get it
add
on
that though,
there.
man. Yeah. How do we
Anyway,
not add it for this?
yeah, you need some Jack Palance or Jack Nicholson on
Yeah.
there.
Um, no, my next guy, my number one guy, my next guy.
My
Um,
number one guy.
I find that while doing this, I really only grabbed one, but I do feel like because I would consider myself um a a big comedy fan. Maybe not necessarily stand up per se, but you know, yeah, I find a thing where it's like I can like like really attach myself to when somebody has a certain style of humor that matches mine. I can like really sort of relate to them.
Mm.
So I was thinking, okay, there's comedians and stuff that I can relate to, and I think for my money, I don't know if this is a popular opinion or anything, probably not, but I think personally, um, I think the funniest person working today, just in terms of what fits my vibe and my humor and my aesthetic, would be Tim Heidecker from the duo Tim and Eric. Now, Tim and Eric, I don't want to say they split ways, but they don't always work together anymore. They're not like a duo 100%. And I think I found that Tim Heidecker is the one that is the one that matches my humor more specifically than Eric Wareheim does. But he did Tim and Eric. That was kind of their breakout thing. It was an adult swim show. Really feels very influential to the state of internet humor where we are now. Like it's if you go back and watch that show from 20 years ago now, it's kind of crazy how uh ahead of its time it was, whether you think it's funny or not. But specifically what I think Tim Heidecker, his magnum opus, if you will, is the On Cinema series, which is an ongoing web series that is sort of a it's really hard to describe. But on its base level, it's a parody of people like me and Trevor, internet movie reviewers and podcasters. But it's Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington, and within that framework, they they're playing themselves. They're playing characters of themselves. So it's Tim Heidecker playing Tim Heidecker, and each season there's always new things going on. So they're sitting down to review these movies, but meanwhile, it starts very normal where they're just talking about movies, but then Tim ends up getting a band, and he starts talking more about his band than the movies, and then it just grows more and more absurd. Anyway, it's a lot of it is on YouTube. Like the first 11 seasons are all on YouTube. Cannot recommend it enough. Some of the funniest, like amazing stuff ever. Like truly, if I could recommend one just giant piece of comedy, it would be On Cinema. But in terms of film stuff and stuff that I own, he's been in quite a few movies. I actually think I only own one movie that he's in, and that is Jordan Peele's Us, which he plays the neighbor character. in, Elizabeth Moss's husband, if you will.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
pretty good role for him, pretty big role for him. He's also been in Bridesmaids. He was in, I just watched it, a little while ago, a few days ago, Him, the new movie Him, the Jordan Peele produced, um, horror movie. But, yeah, anytime Tim Heidecker shows up on screen, it's a real treat for me, and I like him so much. He's kind of a guy where I will even, like, seek out things that I know that he's in just because I'm a fan of his. And he has his own sort of weekly podcast where he talks about life and current events and that sort of thing. And so it's interesting to see him talk about going to, like, he talked about going to film the movie Him, but he couldn't say what it was. But he was like, "Oh, I'm going to Atlanta or whatever it is to film this movie," and you kind of hear some of his behind the scenes stuff. And not just keep going on and on about how much I love this guy, but he also is a musician, and I saw him in concert earlier this year, and I thought he was great. He is it's a comedic, it's funny. Like, I wouldn't say he's not like Weird Al, but like I would say his music is pretty straightforward. Like, it's not meant to be a joke, but his show is funny. Like, he does a lot of stuff on stage that is humorous. Like, for example, one bit he did was he, played a song, and, before the song ended, he said, "All right, I have this, reoccurring nightmare that a song is going to end and no one is going to clap. So I wanna get over this fear with exposure therapy." So he said, "When this song ends, I don't want anybody to clap. I want complete silence in the crowd." And it was a pretty good bit in terms of, like, you're at a rock show and they end on a big note and then just complete silence.
Just
And it was pretty awesome, and everybody like, nobody said a word. It was good. But yeah, so big fan of him. Uh Cannot recommend On Cinema enough, but also Tim and Eric is great. Beef House is amazing. That's lost media. I don't think you can watch Beef House.
I think that's
Um
the case. I have not seen it myself, but I seem to recall it being lumped in with things of that category.
Yeah, yeah. So if anybody can find a way to get me, maybe some sort of download of Beef House, I would really appreciate it because I love Beef
Bootleg Beef House.
Bootleg Beef House. But yeah, Tim is definitely my kind of guy.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew who you were going to say before you said it, just because I don't know. I've known you long enough that I just know this. But what's funny about that is that I have so little exposure to Tim Heidecker, but
Hmm.
his name carries so much weight. Because you're absolutely right about the Tim and Eric thing. Like, I feel like there's like a huge pillar of cultural knowledge, especially like generational cultural knowledge. Like people like a few years younger than me, which I think includes you. Like that shit was everything.
Hmm.
That shit was like the foundation of an entire like half generation of people's senses of humor. And I haven't rubbed up on it even a little bit. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you kids? It's like everything's all random and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy because, like, I remember with Tim and Eric, like, I don't know how old I was, but, like, that was a huge thing. I like staying up late to watch it
Yeah.
on Adult Swim or whatever. And I've always, like, thought of, like, oh yeah, Tim and Eric, like, is this like big thing. And I do think it's a very been influential part of comedy and culture. But yeah, you ask a lot of people, they probably maybe they've heard of Tim and Eric, but they really have no. I think it's interesting that for me and for a lot of people, very important part of comedy and who we are, but still somehow remaining somewhat under the radar in a lot of ways, at least for most people, I guess. Um,
Yeah, it's a
so.
weird thing because I do think it's like it's a certain age range in particular. Because
Mhm.
like for me, like Adult Swim, I was around people who were digesting that stuff and doing exactly what you described, like staying up late and really, really, really like resonating with it. But I don't know. I feel like I was just like a few years too old or something. Because like my friend's younger brother. That's like Tim and Eric all the way. All that shit. Give me all that shit. And again, for me, it's like I never even touched it. I think I've watched like one of his podcasts,
Mhm.
and it wasn't the funny kind. It was just like a podcast.
Yeah.
It was him being genuine as opposed to like an on cinema or something where it's like where there's layers to this. Like
Mhm.
um but he's always been like kind of alluring because like one, it's a very memorable name. Like I've never heard of another Heidecker in my entire life. And just there's this air of reverence that surrounds his name in particular that just I'm compelled to like maybe give him a shot or something.
Mhm.
I've just found him to be affable without finding him funny because I've never seen him attempt to make me laugh. Except for
Mhm.
Us, I guess. Like he was actually pretty funny in that.
Yeah, 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 and I think with me, like, I was always a fan, but it was really on cinema that where I was like, okay, this guy is one of the funniest people on planet Earth. And I didn't know about on cinema until what it really was the trial where he staged a fake trial for himself for murdering 20 people and committed to the bit of like try to make it as real of a trial as possible. And it's pretty well done. But then after that, they came out with the movie Mr. America, which they were like, "Oh, it's the movie version of On Cinema," and I was like, "Okay, what? I know Tim Heidecker. What is this On Cinema?" And then I kind of dove in and I was hooked. But problem with On Cinema is it's like the sort of thing where you and people in the comments of the videos have said this. It's like this is the most genius, hilarious thing ever, but you can't recommend it because you can't just say like, "Oh, this episode from season 7, like, this is the funniest shit ever." It's like you literally have to start from the beginning, and it's I mean, it's funny at the beginning, but it is a slow like, you have to be in it for the long haul kinda thing. But once you're there, it is truly, some groundbreaking stuff.
To me, that's like part of what I think of when I think of you, Brad, is the commit to the bit thing. Is
Mhm.
because you have a history of doing that yourself, and I feel like that's where there's like a simpatico there between you
I
and
mean,
Mr.
yeah,
Heidecker.
you would not be wrong in saying that he's been a huge influence on my podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if I like watch on cinema and I'm like, shit, Brad stole all this.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you probably would, and you'd like, some of the stuff that I say without even realizing, like, I'm quoting from Greg Turkington on Cinema and stuff like that, so, but yeah, so Tim, anytime he's in something, it's always a treat, I saw him, and I wasn't the movie Him, and,
Yeah.
wasn't a big fan, but it was cool seeing him in there, he was in what was there was another movie that was just recently in theaters. What was the name of it? Not Project X. What was the name of
Oh,
that
wow.
one?
That was a
It was the
while ago.
one with Kyle Mooney directed it.
Mm.
Y2K. That's what it was. Y2K.
Oh, how
Yeah,
was that?
not great.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Looked like, shitty small soldiers or something.
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, comedians or people who are quick, who have excellent senses of humor tend to be very talented actors. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, just he seems like a multi-talented individual. That
Mhm.
like you said, he's a musician. He's prone to committing to the bit. He has a long legacy of comedy and stuff. Like I could totally see him hanging around and just maybe even doing more dramatic roles or something.
Yeah, and, the comedy, that's even despite the name, that's a very good, dramatic performance. It's still kinda comedic, but that's a
Yeah.
pretty dark
I
very dark comedy, I guess. Um, but I will say the other name that in terms of comedy that I was gonna grab,
mm.
which 'cause I could have swore I had purchased this movie, but I can't find it anywhere. I'm not seeing any record of it in my email. I thought I had bought the 4K of Dirty Work, from Vinegar
Oh,
Syndrome,
yeah, that's new.
because yeah, because 'cause I'm a big Norm Macdonald fan.
Yeah.
If Tim Heidecker is the funniest person, alive, then Norm Macdonald is just the funniest person of all time. But I cannot find. I swear I must have been wrong because I don't see any record of it in my email that I bought it either.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, so I might have missed out on the limited edition there.
Shit. I've never seen Dirty Work except for 2 scenes, one of which I guess I can reference in just a second here, but, we eat the pig and together we burn. It's Adam Sandler's appearance in that film.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, Norm and Tim, that to me, that is you. Like, Norm Macdonald's both of these guys, like, have something in common in that they seem prone to zigging when you expect them to zag.
Hmm.
Right? They're very, very adept at being unreadable. It's like Norm Macdonald in particular, just like strange, elusive individual that just seemingly gave zero fucks about anything.
Yep,
And
yep.
anytime you think you have him pinned down, he's just gonna throw you some curveball and
I
have
I
you
I s
questioning your life.
I still see so often people posting clips from his podcast, and, anytime there's a clip that I haven't seen, I watch it and think, "Oh, what is this?" And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
He is a s- super funny guy. Like I haven't like followed his career extensively or anything, but holy shit, he's
Yeah,
like almost like a comedian's comedian.
yeah,
It's just like you
mhm,
could tell that the people in that profession who had their head on straight, like they recognized him as like this guy's operating on a different
yeah,
level.
yeah,
Uh,
so
okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't have many things to show for this individual, but talking about people who make you laugh, I have one comedian. So I have here. Oh, I have two. I only have one movie, but one movie about them. It's a documentary. So you had Tim Heidecker and Norm Macdonald. I have Chris Farley,
mhm,
Tommy Boy. This is a horrendous looking Blu-ray with a weird Photoshop job putting that Holy Schnikey edition car door across his body there. But I have Tommy Boy, which is probably his best film, definitely his best film. Like
mhm,
especially movies that were his, because he had appearances in other very very great films. Like I believe he's in Dirty Work for Ass Scene, and of course Billy Madison, he's terrific in, and of course the first Wayne's World, he's in one scene, but he's terrific in it. Like he just had that quality to him. But I also have this documentary, I Am Chris Farley, which
mhm.
is about the man and his life. Has tons of archival footage of him and also interviews and stuff. I watched this a very, very long time ago, so unfortunately, I don't recall it in in detail. I remember it being very sweet though, and a pretty enjoyable watch. Looks like Bob Odenkirk's in there, and Will Sasso. Anyway, for some reason, Chris Farley has always kind of resonated with me as like one of the funniest guys I ever saw. Um, Clearly a very troubled individual in his personal life and stuff, but holy shit, like when it came to the putting on a show, like the kind of energy that he brought and just something about the way he would like bring his physicality into the performance. There's just something complete. Like there was a complete package element of the way he would inhabit his roles and just find those like subtle little quirks, those little details where like Wayne's World, I don't know if you recall, but he's the well-informed security guard. He has a cameo. And just the way he carries himself, like
Mhm.
he's doing the double suitcase walk, and then when he gestures to where he thinks the limo is going to be, or no, he's certain because he's a well-informed security guard. He gestures and then he like jerks into a different direction. And like, he's
Yeah.
correcting himself. And it's just like this small little detail that like so many of his performances are that. It's just there's that like one little extra spice that makes it special. Like Billy Madison, for instance, the bus driver. That bus driver, like I mean, one that the look of the character for one is amazing, like with the
Mhm.
mutton chops and
Yep.
like the greased hair. but there's that bit where the kid hits him in the back of the head with the
Oh, it's
sandwich,
so good.
and that primal scream that, "Hey!" and just the purple face that
I'll
comes out.
turn this damn
"I'll
bus
turn this damn
around.
bus around." Just the like, there's some, like, true primal rage
Mhm.
manifesting in that character, and there's just some element of that that finds its way into a lot of his performances, and it's like, I don't think of him like, Tim Heidecker, I think, is like like a brilliant, like, strategic kind of mind when it comes
Yeah.
to, like, writing comedy, structuring comedy. Chris Farley, I think of as more of improvisational. I think of him
Yep.
as being more reactive, but just, like, being like a force of nature when you let him loose. So it's a
Yeah.
very, very, very different style of comedy, very, very different style of performance. Both are totally valid, but just so radically different.
Yeah, in terms of, like, physical comedy and performance comedy, tough to think of somebody who does it better than Chris Farley. I mean, like, yeah, he's truly operating on another level in that regard. I mean, so there's so many, obviously the motivational speaker one, but there's so many other, like, SNL skits that
Lay off me, I'm starving.
yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. Yep. And then I think you and I know we've mentioned it, but kind of on a different end of the spectrum, different character. But the Chris Farley show is an amazing,
That is amazing.
amazing skit that I
Amazing.
think is underrated. It's so funny.
It's so great, and that's more probably like Tim Heidecker's style, where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it swerves, where it's like
Hmm.
everything you would expect from this guy is discarded in favor of something strange and vulnerable that is utterly hilarious.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, to this day, my regular co-host on Catching Up on Cinema, Kyle, he and I exchange that quote all the time. It's like, you remember that thing when Indiana Jones picked up the idol and then the rock came tumbling down after. That was awesome. It's like and then the uncomfortable aspect of it, that also
Yeah.
seems like a Tim Heidecker kind of thing where
Yep.
there's a disarming quality about it where it's just like, Jeff Daniels looks actually kind of uncomfortable sitting
Yeah.
next to Chris Farley right now.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So many good ones. And like you say, like his starring roles, Tommy Boy is obviously the best,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, like so many like little like Wayne's World, Billy Madison, like when he did pop up in those roles, he was always great.
Yeah, he always owned it, but yeah, when it came to his personal vehicles, like the movies that were intended to be his, a little scattershot. Like
Mhm.
Beverly Hills Ninja is nobody's favorite, including his probably, because he was, like, morbidly obese at that point and, like, the drug stuff was getting really gnarly. Um, I actually have a soft spot for Almost Heroes. Like, that was his last one, but for some reason, it did like, it I watched it a lot. I think it was, like, on HBO or something at the time, and I kinda like it. Like, there's certain bits in it that really get me. Like, him
Yeah.
fighting that eagle, just, like, his like, there's some aspect of it that just kinda works.
Yeah, I've never actually seen that one. So,
It's it's not good, but for some reason, it's like, maybe it's just because I really like him. Like, I don't know what the fuck Eugene Levy's doing in there, like, he's doing some crazy shit, and Matthew Perry, he looks embarrassed, like, he honestly does. But Chris Farley,
mhm.
he's got some bits in there, man, he's got some skits and bits. Like, there's a scene, Brad, where Matthew Perry's trying to teach him the alphabet, and he's holding up individual letters, and he's like like, you can see him hurting himself trying to memorize the single character.
Mhm.
It's an amazing bit. But yeah, Chris Farley for me, just time and time again, I find myself, like, thinking about funny people in film especially that I just, like, resonate with and just always call back to, and it's like, fuck, I think he might be the funniest guy I to me personally, because humor is a highly subjective thing, maybe one of the most subjective things.
Yeah. I I can't fault you on that, and I definitely think, it's like, Tim Heidecker, Norm Macdonald. I might not recommend them to everybody, but Chris Farley is kind of a universal, like, I can't imagine somebody watching some of his stuff, like some of his SNL skits and not thinking it's funny. Like, how can you not laugh at him falling on the coffee table on the motivational speaker sketch? Like,
Yeah,
it's
or Slappy
amazing.
Joe, Slappy, Slappy Joe.
Yeah.
It's like him doing the lunch lady dance or whatever. Honest.
Um, another, not just be Chris Farley show and just say that was awesome, but one that now it hasn't aged well, and I haven't watched it in a long time, but um Chris Farley is great in the sketch, is the Japanese game show one,
For the
where
love of
he's
God, I don't speak Japanese. Yeah, he's
he's
phenomenal.
so funny in that. That
He's
is
so
such,
good.
like, I mean, obviously, there's that aspects of it that haven't aged well, like Mike Myers in it or whatever, but
Yeah.
he is
At least
amazing
he's
in that.
actually speaking Japanese.
That's
Like
true, that's
he
true.
did actually do the work, but yeah,
That's good.
the it's a
Yeah,
little outdated, but
yeah.
for the love of God, I don't speak Japanese. Anytime he says "for the love of God," honestly, just always works for me.
Oh,
It
so
just
funny.
gets you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like when he goes from up here and he goes down here.
yeah.
Why don't you just shut your big yapper? It just works, man.
Oh, man, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so that's funny, people. Brad, pick is to you, sir. Who you got next? Who's your
Um,
guy?
alright, well, yeah, let's do, alright, I'll do, you know what? Hang on, let's do, alright. Well, Trevor, I don't wanna get us canceled, so
Oh no,
we
is it
haven't,
Roman Polanski?
no, 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 I don't wanna get us canceled,
Is
I
it Mel
don't,
Gibson?
no, 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 I don't wanna get us
Is it
canceled.
Woody Allen?
No, 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 no. No, no,
Is it Bryan Singer?
no, I don't, listen, listen, I don't wanna get us canceled, so
I
I'm
could
gonna
go
do,
on forever, baby.
no, 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 no. My next pick, and I shouldn't have even started by saying I don't wanna get us canceled, because I feel like now that devalues it, not, I'm not just doing this to not get us canceled,
Army
genuinely.
Hammer. Is it
No, no,
Army
no,
Hammer?
no. This is genuinely a pick, but I should we should say, Trevor, we haven't had any women yet.
Oh,
This has been a sausage fest.
yeah.
That's my kinda gal. So, and I'm not just picking this one just to not get us canceled. This is genuinely a pick, but I said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna pick this one now." Um, and goes along with the character actor sort of model, and an actress who I've loved in several things since then, but I think this was kind of her breakout role, and it's the one I kind of most know her for. I'm talking the actress Ann Dowd. Ann
Oh.
Dowd, who has done a lot more stuff on the small screen. She was in The Leftovers, which I love. She's on the Handmaid's Tale, which I guess she's good in, but I don't really love the show. But her breakout was Compliance, which I think is not only a crazy story, but I think the filmmaking is really good. Like, I know some people hate this movie, and I can see where people could call it exploitative and just, just gross, and not saying anything about the incident in question. But I think just presenting the events as it happened in kind of as much of a straightforward way as you could, and letting just the insanity of the story play out, I think it just speaks for itself, and I do think there is some really strong filmmaking on display here. Directed by Craig Zobel, who is another person who you could say is kind of my guy, because he directed some episodes of The Leftovers, which I love. I might that's something for another pick later.
Mhm.
That's my guy. Um, but Ann Dowd is the manager of the fast food restaurant where this incident goes down. She's great in it. Also love her in Mass, which I don't own a physical copy of, but that was one of my favorite films from the last few years. And I don't have a list of all the films she's been in. I might own more, but Compliance is the big one. That was her breakout role, I believe.
Yeah, I'm actually looking her up as we speak because, to be honest, this is an actress who I'm not super familiar with. I've definitely seen her in things, but did not resonate with me. Didn't like grab me, you know. But
Oh, Hereditary, that's a big yeah, she's in Hereditary, she's great in that. She's the friend who ends up being part well, spoiler.
yeah, kind of important part of the plot.
Yeah.
I remember that much for
Mhm.
sure. Um, she had some early work too from like the '90s. It looks like she was in Philadelphia, which is an excellent film. I don't know what her role was in it though. Um, and also Lorenzo's Oil, I know is kind of a big deal movie, but again, I don't know the extent of her role.
Mhm.
Also, the remake of The Manchurian Candidate, Captain Fantastic, I've heard is good. That's Vigo, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember her in it though, to be honest.
It
Um,
could be that she had small roles in, like, very small roles in all of these, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm glad we're actually talking about a gal because I'll be transparent and say I don't have any. So
Well,
thank you for diversifying our catalog a little
good thing
bit.
I grabbed and Dowd here. I mean, Trevor, I guess I shouldn't, assume. Do you know, what the movie Compliance is about? Like,
I
the
think you
incident in
brought it up
question?
before, but refresh my memory because no, off the top of my head, I don't recall.
It was a true story of, a guy who prank called a series of fast food restaurants pretending to be a police officer and claimed that an employee of the store stole and convinces the manager to basically strip search the employee in question and kind of obviously just plays with the whole idea of our unquestioning following of authority sort of thing and like knowing that this movie is based on a true story, at least my experience, I was watching it and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can believe that this would happen," and then you hit a certain point and you're like, "Okay, well, obviously that's they exaggerated it for the movie, like, okay, that didn't happen."
Did you confirm that?
Well, you then you do the research and you're like, "No, this is exactly what happened," and it's like,
Oh,
"Wow."
okay.
Like, I cannot believe that it went that far, and it was not just a single incident. I guess the one thing that they exaggerate is, like, at the end of the film, a title card says, "This happened in over 57 different incidents," or something, and
Okay.
not every single incident goes as far as the one they portray in the movie, but at least one of them did.
Okay, so it's
So
like a condensed version of it, like every major highlight over the entire career of this person, like funneled into like one instance, kind of.
no, I think the one that they portray did play out straight through for the most part like
Shit.
this. Just there was other ones, and again, it was also I don't know if anybody ever. I think maybe the person in this specific incident got caught, but I think it's like they don't know if this person did every single one of them or if it was like just something that was happening. I don't know, but I have
Mhm.
to do some research on it again. But kind of just a crazy true story, and definitely like a movie you watch and it kind of makes you sick to your stomach. But I think the filmmaking and the performances are really great, and I think it is a really strong film.
Yeah, it brings to mind like I think there was some sort of research study or something where I'm butchering this. I apologize because it's like a memory fragment from like when I was in college, but basically it was like a trial of some sort where somebody has like a dial that they have to turn,
Mhm.
and there's a person in another room who they can hear what's happening in the other room. They can't see it, I don't think, but basically they're instructed like, now turn the dial up, now turn it up some more, now turn it up some more. And as they keep ratcheting it up, like they're screaming, like audible screaming, and most people just do as they're told
They
and
continued it, yeah,
just keep
yeah.
turning the dial and until the screams get like unbearably crazy and yet they still keep going.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I don't know what that is, but it is apparently a thing. But what is Ann Dowd's role in that in compliance?
So she's the manager of the fast food restaurant, so she's kind of the one who, um, gets duped, I guess.
Okay, so she's the
She's not.
lead.
Yeah, I would say so. She's not the only one who, gets duped, like, because there is a thing of, like, she's on the phone and then she hands it to another employee and says, "Hey, there's this cop here. Just do what he says." And then that, so it kind of the phone gets passed around a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but yeah. Also, Bill Camp is in here, and he's another character actor that I quite enjoy. He pops up and stuff. He was on The Leftovers too. I tell you what, I just, but yeah. So she's quite good in it, and yeah, I think she's a great character actress.
Well, like, being as we don't have too much to talk about with her filmography, like, what is it about her in particular that, like, grabbed you? Like, makes you take notice of her style or whatever, or her appearance?
Well, she's very, like, she looks just like a regular lady, I guess,
Yeah.
is one thing. Like, she's very homey. If I
Yeah.
like, try, she looks like a regular lady in her 40s or 50s or however old she
Yeah.
is. And I think that
Believable.
definitely very believable, some authenticity to her performance. And I think she is just a really good actress. Like, I think she just nails these parts that she does. Like, The Leftovers, she's completely different than her character in, um, Compliance or Mass. Handmaid's Tale, she's kind of a villain in that, and again, I'm not a huge fan of the show, but I think she's very good in it. Yeah, I think she inhabits her roles really well, and, somebody that kinda just, maybe it's just because I like a lot of her not her early stuff, but, Compliance and The Leftovers, fan of her work there, so I'm always kind of rooting for her, and, yeah, I think she was a highlight in the movie Mass as well. Like, she was probably the standout performance in that movie, and that's just a movie about with that's literally like a performance movie. It's just 4 people in a room talking,
Wow.
um, so she's the real deal. She rocks.
Yeah, it sounds like she's a bit of a chameleon, but also just very naturalistic,
Yeah, mhm,
which is another one of those, like, underrated attributes as an actor, that, like, you need people like that, but it's actually one of the harder things to pull off.
mhm.
So she's going to have work for her entire life, I guess, is what you could say about that. That's
Yeah, I
cool,
would
though.
say so. I mean, a lot of people, or maybe I don't know if a lot of people, but I think you could compare her to Margot Martindale. I don't know if you know who she is.
I Is that the mom from Million Dollar Baby?
I don't
Let
know,
me
but
double check on that because I have a face in yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her. N Yeah, that's amazing, Brad. Like, when you were talking about Ann Dowd, that's who I was thinking of, was
yeah,
exactly her. Is
they.
because she has that same quality where it's like, in that movie and, like, Cocaine Bear or whatever the fuck, it's just like,
Mhm.
she just looks like a person you would meet on the street,
Yep.
and she just plays it really, really well. It's like casting Buck Flowers as a person experiencing homelessness. It
Yeah.
just works.
Yep. Yeah.
You believe it.
Yeah. They've definitely been brought up by casting directors in the same conversation, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. Same room.
Yeah.
But on the subject of, acting methodologies, I guess, I may as well just take a pit stop. What is the deal with Jeremy Strong? Because
Let
this is
me.
a name that he's a punchline. I know him as a punchline better than I know him as an actor. 'Cause he's known for his method acting, I think, is that's his shtick, is like he is known for going overboard with the method stuff.
Yeah, so he's the not Euphoria, not Entourage. Why am I Succession? He's the Succession guy, right? Jeremy Strong. No. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Jeremy Strong. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
what's the verdict? What's the deal with him? Because I don't think I've had very much exposure to him whatsoever. I just know him as a punchline.
I think he's just a little bit, and I don't even know if it is fully his fault or if it's just like his character from Succession. People sort of like putting that on him, but I do feel like he has a little bit of actor brain. Um, At least just in the way he presents himself in public and some of the outfits he wears, and seems like, again, and it could just be his character from Succession, kind of fits with this, but seems like somebody who takes his craft. Not that you shouldn't take your craft seriously, but maybe takes it just a little too seriously.
Okay.
Um, but I do think he is. I do really like him. I think he's a good actor. He's great on Succession. He was really good in The Apprentice. And he is. I think he's playing Mark Zuckerberg in the Social Network sequel. You've heard about that?
No.
Oh yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
they're doing it. Is it Fincher? Is he coming back?
No. Unfortunately, Sorkin is directing. So
Whoa, that's like that's a
yeah,
tone shift.
yeah.
I
Not sure
mean,
how that's gonna
Sorkin's
play.
not afraid of making like putting forth a message. Like that is something he feels very strongly about. Like he doesn't shy away from that, and it looks like he's worked with him before. Uh, Trial of the Chicago 7. Apparently, he
Oh
was in that.
yes.
Um,
Um, yeah, I think Social Network sequel, I believe it has um who's the guy? Bruce Springsteen, Jeremy
the Bear,
Al- the Bear guy,
Alan White,
and
is it?
yes, and Mikey Madison, I believe, is in it as well. So I mean,
Damn.
pretty good cast.
Yeah, I'll say.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand. I assume they asked Jesse Eisenberg to come back, and he said no. That would be my assumption. Um, and I can understand why. He probably does not want to be associated with the role of Mark Zuckerberg forever going in forward into his career. But does seem just weird calling it a sequel, and it's just totally, I don't know. But I guess I'm intrigued.
Yeah, no, I'd be interested, but yeah, Eisenberg doesn't strike me as a guy who's super into doing sequels in general,
Hmm.
and also he's moving into directing, I think.
Yeah.
And he had a really big one just like a year ago. Like he's got his own shit going. Like he
Hmm.
did the one with the Culkin or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw Jeremy Strong in I did watch The Apprentice. I watched a couple of forbidden movies. I just was in that kind of mood recently where I was just like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm just gonna watch that shit that I've been meaning to watch but just haven't. It's like fuck it, I'm paying for it. Who cares?
Hmm.
So the Apprentice has kind of been, for obvious reasons, doesn't seem to be hugely widely available. Jeremy Strong is very good in that. And also I watched Magazine Dreams. Speaking of canceling, it's pretty good. It suffers massively though from being surrounded by other better movies with very very similar subject matters. Whiplash exists, therefore Magazine Dreams cannot be a 5 out of 5
Mm.
because Whiplash is just a very similar subject matter in some regards, but just not subject matter so much, but just like more tone and sensation,
Hmm.
but just like better in every facet. And also, Joker already happened. I don't love the Joker movie, but it touches on similar subject matters and it kind of eats its lunch a little bit. But yeah, those are just some things that I watched recently. But I was just curious on your take on Jeremy Strong because like he's a living meme to me. Like he's not a guy that I follow or know much about.
Yeah, I think it's just the actor brain thing.
I think you're right. After you explained it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you got time for one more or
Yeah, we could do another pick. Yeah.
okay? Well, pick is to me. So what am I gonna? I got some tall stacks here.
Oh man, he's gone. There he is.
Yeah, I disappeared. He's back. So
What is going on down there? He's gonna come up holding two movies.
no. So I'm gonna talk about a martial arts actor because I'm want to do. Uh, and this is a guy who I would like to see. do some stuff. Like, I'd like to see him get a bit more of a mainstream foothold than he currently has. I don't know if that's in the cards for him, but I actually do have some confidence in him as an actor, certainly as a screen presence. Um, I'm going to talk about uh, Marko Zaror. This is a
Mm.
$4 used bookstore DVD purchase of a film called Kiltro. Marko Zaror is from Chile, and he is a martial artist and actor. He works often with a director by the name of Ernesto Diaz Espinosa, who directed this film in my hand here in their native Chile. They've done very, very good work over the years. And Marco Zaror, uh, he is kind of like the total package when it comes to the martial arts actor. He's he has a noteworthy look, and he has the ability. But more than that, he also displays a propensity for kind of like stepping outside the box a little bit. We kind of mentioned that a little bit with like Ray Stevenson, where it's like he's unafraid of doing unconventional things. And what I mean by that is like he, despite the fact that like the foundation of his career is, doing flips and spin kicks and stuff and jujitsu on screen, he also seems to care quite a lot about crafting a character of some sort, even if it's not like hugely deep or anything like that, or even has lines of dialogue half the time. Like half the time, he doesn't even speak in these films. He just seems to have a propensity for trying to convey some form of character, like either through his body language or his appearance, or just some sort of flourish or something that makes him memorable. And I appreciate stuff like that. I think that's really, really like this movie here in my hands is Scott Adkins headlines this movie, and Scott Adkins and Marco Zaror are basically like real life friends at this point. This was kind of a huge movie for both of them. Um, and Marco Zaror plays the chief antagonist in this film. Dolor, I think, is his name. He has all these little stylistic flourishes in there where he's doing lots of aerial work, like lots of aerial kicks and stuff. But he also just has some very strange dialogue, and also in the midst of fighting, he'll just break out into dance. But it's very, very organic. Like it's not like the movie stops dead so he can do a dance number or something. It's just like he'll throw a couple punches, parry a couple of shots, and then just do like an ollie shuffle or something, and or like just like gyrate his hips just a little bit, and it just comes across as very naturalistic, but also a little bit eerie. And he did something with this that made the character very, very memorable. It also helps that just from a physical standpoint, it's like a holy shit kind of like martial arts performance. It's like career best for both of them, as far as I understand. Um, but I just have here a handful of other movies of his that I just discovered, like, oh, I have a lot of his stuff. Like, and funny enough, he has a new one coming out tomorrow. It's called Affinity. I've been seeing some clips circulating on like Instagram and stuff. I might pick it up. Who knows? I believe he was The Rock's stuntman, like his stunt double in the rundown. That's worth pointing out.
Mm.
He's pretty tall, so it's a natural that he would stand in for someone like The Rock. I think The Rock's like cousin is his stunt double these days. Um, Most mainstream folks would recognize him in John Wick 4. Marco Zaror plays the chief heavy in this one, where he gets screen time. Like he gets to do stuff in this, even though I don't remember if he even has a line of dialogue in this, but he gets a cool death and he gets a couple of really cool scenes. And he's kind of a constant like presence in the film. And he cuts a mean figure like that. He looks pretty fucking sharp in that suit. And of course, he has the moves, so that counts
Mhm.
for everything. Savage Dog is another one he did with Scott Adkins, where it's just like a. This is more of like a reunion movie than anything else. Where it's like it's not a very very memorable movie, but just seeing him and Scott Adkins work together again is kind of cool. Um, Redeemer and Mandrill are both movies he did in Chile. Redeemer is like kind of a hard nosed like action thriller. It's pretty grim dark, pretty serious. Mandrill though is very unique in that it's like a throwback to like 19, you can tell by the font. Like it's throwback to like 1970s spy movies. So think
Mhm.
like Roger Moore era James Bond. And it opens with this like beautiful pop song like that has like a period flare like feel to it. That's like it sets you up for the experience where it's like, oh, this is gonna be kind of weird and fun. And it's like it's a very, very cheap film. Like you can tell like they didn't have any money to work with. But he's very charming in it, and it just has a lovely atmosphere to it. Mandrill's a lot of I like. I actually reviewed this one solo. Those are always hard for catching up on cinema. Fist of the Condor. I think this was also an Ernesto Diaz Espinosa film. This is like highly inspired by like anime, and in particular like Fist of the North Star. It feels like a live action anime at times. It's actually very, very fun. Like, I enjoyed this quite a lot. Kind of flew in under the radar a little bit. And last one I'll mention is, The Killer's Game, where
Classic.
this was almost an episode of the Cinema Speak podcast. I'm kinda glad it isn't because this is not a good movie, but it is kind of an important movie. For me, this was like the circus has come to town, honestly, 'cause, this is directed by J.J. Perry, who choreographed some of Scott Adkins's earliest movies. Scott Adkins is in this, as is Marko Zaror, and he gets the distinction of being like the big boss at the end of the movie, kind of like John Wick 4. He plays like a like a flamenco dancing martial artist that kills people with spurs he has on his heels while listening to his iPod or his iPhone. Um, Fun there's some fun scenes in this movie, but it's not a good movie, not even a little bit.
I still need to see this because I remember you telling me it wasn't good, and I believe you. But um, that's the one where Dave Bautista hires or he tells all these killers to kill him because he thinks he has like terminal cancer or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's like he's trying to collect, like, the bounty or, like, insurance or something.
Yeah, and then he finds out that he had the wrong file.
Yeah, the doctor gave him bad info.
I mean that was in the trailer, so I don't know if that was a twist.
Well, the clock's already ticking for, like, all the people coming after him, and then he
Yeah,
gets a phone call from his doctor saying, like, "Yeah, I fucked up."
I do love that premise. That is a fun
It's a
premise.
fun premise,
Yeah, that
and
is cool.
it has moments.
Yeah.
And from like I said, for me, it's the circus has come to town because I get to see Scott Adkins throw kicks. Drew McIntyre from the WWE has a role as Scott Adkins's brother. They are the highlight of the movie because they're both like Scott Adkins is assuming an accent, but Drew McIntyre is Scottish, but they're like amping up the accent to incomprehensible levels. So they subtitle them whenever they're on screen and they're just a couple of rowdy drunks and they literally do like a two on one like almost like a tag team fight against Dave Batista. And it helps too that Batista was kind of like almost a contemporary of Drew McIntyre like in wrestling. So I don't know if they were affiliated with each other, but they did work for the same company for close to the same stretch of time. So that's kind of neat stuff. And also, Marko Zaror, he shows up and he gets the distinction of being like the final boss. And in terms of like action and fight sequences in the movie, he does get the highlight. It's more of a grappling exhibition than anything else, but it's radically different from anything else in the movie. And it does seem like Batista's more comfortable with doing that because like all the flippy dips and stuff, it's like Batista's like 50 at this point. Like he's not gonna do that shit.
Yeah.
Like he knows some jujitsu. And that was probably the highlight of the movie in terms of action. Even though Scott Adkins and Drew McIntyre kind of just are the heart and soul of the thing, even though they're in it for like 2, 3 scenes.
Tell you the Killer's Game, that's like your Avengers Endgame, it feels like. I mean,
it the beautiful thing about being into like martial arts and stunts and movies is that there aren't that many people on the planet who do it on like at a certain level who do it but also have a name and a face that people recognize. Like they're like
mhm.
that's the whole foundation of what we've been talking about all night is like there's certain people that there's tons of people who do these jobs, but then there's those people who it's like I like the way he did it. Like you could get other people to do it, but for some reason I just like the way that guy did it. I like the way that guy I like the way that guy said these pretzels are making me thirsty. He just said it like no one else could.
Yep, yep.
It's like, there's tons of people who can do exactly the same kicks that Scott Adkins does better than him, but I wanna see him do it because he just does it in a certain way that the camera loves.
Mhm.
And yeah, because it's a small community, like the stunts and martial arts and stuff on film, the the chances of people overlapping and connecting are very, very high. 'Cause it's almost like real fighting or something where it's like you have people that's like, "Oh, he's really, really good at that thing that that other guy's really good at too." It's like, wouldn't it be cool to see them together? It's like peanut butter and chocolate. Why not? Give it a shot. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was Marko Zaror. Did you wanna do one more, or do you wanna head into the speed round, Brad? We've been going for a while.
Yeah, we could probably just go to the speed round at this point if
Okay.
you want.
Alright. You wanna do yours?
Yeah, let me scoop some stuff up here. Um,
And, just because it's a speed round, like, feel free to say whatever you want about all these people or whatever, even if you don't have
yeah.
stuff to show off.
Yeah, I won't elaborate too much, but I'll go into each one a little bit. I already mentioned The Leftovers, and I did grab, I think maybe I'm wrong, but my complete, maybe I'm missing a few. Damon Lindelof.
Oh,
This is my guy. I tell you what, if it's a Damon Lindelof
controversial.
project, yeah, controversial, but I think he is the master, at least in terms of television. I love Lost. The Leftovers is a masterpiece. I thought Watchmen was amazing. I think he rocks. And so I've got Leftovers. I've got Prometheus, which I love. He wrote that. The Hunt. I was a fan of The Hunt. This is one I think also directed by Craig Zobel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a date
Um,
night movie with me and my fiance.
yeah,
Early
Craig
days.
Zobel. I really like this as well.
It was
So
fun. I like Betty
yeah,
Gilpin.
yeah, I just really like Damon Lindelof's writing. I think he's got something with the way he structures his stories, like Watchmen in particular. It's like I was immediately hooked on how it just introduced you to the world. Like it was really well done. Um, and The Leftovers is a show that I think first season started a little shaky, but I mean by season two it found its footing, and I was just like, this is my kind of guy. This Damon Lindelof guy, he's my kind of guy.
Yeah, when I think you, I think Lost, but I guess also now I need to lump in The Leftovers.
Yeah, yeah. Tried to do a little bit of behind the camera stuff that was not just directors. So I was thinking, well, who's my guy when it comes to score? Who's my musical guy? And I don't know if I would totally say this is like my guy 100% for scores, but if you lump in his band, then I would definitely say so. Johnny Greenwood,
Oh, yeah, your
who
boy Greenwood.
he's done, he did Phantom Thread. Apparently, I haven't watched it yet. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll see it one battle after another. He did the score for that.
Oh,
Does
shit.
pretty much all the PTA stuff, but he also did Spencer, Power of the Dog. Um, there was another one that I looked up. So he's done a few besides the PTA stuff, but I'm also just a big Radiohead fan. So
Mhm.
he's he's my guy. I mean, you could say Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross as well, but I feel like they're a little more obvious of a pick, so I didn't choose them.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I would put them in that same strata.
yeah, absolutely. This one, I mean, it's just because he is or was my favorite actor. I got a couple Philip Seymour Hoffman movies here, The Master and Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Um, I think Before the Devil Knows You're Dead might be my favorite Philip Seymour Hoffman performance. He is so good at playing this scumbag in this movie. He is amazing.
Jeez, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Kyle had me watch that one. That was excellent.
yep.
The Master, though, is the one that everybody like, people need to, like, they should have free reign to slap me for not having seen it at this point. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing that I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's first movie I saw by myself in theaters, so it's got a special place in my heart for that. And I mean, it's not my favorite PTA movie, but just performance wise, Joaquin and Philip Seymour Hoffman are just
That's what I've heard.
I
Just
mean,
virtuoso kinda shit.
yeah, like, I think it's Joaquin's best performance, like,
Mhm.
bar
I've heard
none.
that.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we got here? Yeah, as a director who's kinda my guy, not that I love everything he does across the board, but a director that I'm always excited about what their next project is gonna be, and somebody I always root for is, M. Night Shyamalan. I could have grabbed any of his. I grabbed Old because I think, it's underrated. I actually like Old quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
I had it spoiled, but I was really hyped about it, honestly. I wish I
yeah,
had seen it.
yeah, he kind of came to he was the next big thing at a time when I was slowly starting to get into movies a little bit more. And he's just got that comeback story of, he was down and out and he came back, and now he's kind of back, but maybe he's down and out again a little bit. I don't know. But I'm just always I like his ideas and his premises for movies. And I'm always just excited to see what he's gonna do next. So he's always somebody I root for and look forward to.
Yeah, he's an
Um
example funny, like, I praised consistency earlier, but he's more an example of, don't let your lack of consistency get in your own way. Like,
mhm.
just keep swimming.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like, he did have a down period, but he's largely back. Like, people have their gripes or whatever about his latest one, but I think on the whole, most people enjoyed it, even if
Mhm.
it wasn't for the intended reasons.
Yeah.
Like he just keeps working and people keep showing up. So it's like, just keep at it, man. Keep plying
Yeah.
your trade.
I can't imagine a day would come where I'm not excited to see his next movie, like, as soon as it comes out. So,
I mean, I always take notice even if I'm not excited. I'm
mhm,
sorry, I'm scrolling on my phone right now because there's a book about the making of Lady in the Water that I've been wanting to read for a very long
mm,
time. It's
interesting.
called The Man Who Heard Voices, or How M. Night Shyamalan Risked His Career on a Fairy Tale and Lost.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've had this book on my, like, Amazon wish list for years at this point. I just haven't found it. It's actually not available to purchase. I just dog-eared it for
Hmm.
a later date, but I've heard it's a really, really interesting read because that
Yeah.
was kind of the turning point as far as I know, where just he fell off for a bit there.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched Lady in the Water. To be honest, I don't know if I saw the whole thing. I might have dozed off in it, to be totally honest. But so it's been a little while. I need to revisit that one.
I'd like
Um,
to do a full rewatch or full watch of his filmography because I actually honestly like I've been very sporadic with my ingesting of his films
I
as of the past couple like past decade and a half probably.
I have had that idea in the back of my mind and, like, table that for a while now.
Well,
I've
if
wanted
you
to
wanna make
do
a
that.
project out of it, rope me into it because I haven't seen a lot of his movies
Yeah.
and but I'm always interested just because the man fascinates me.
Yep. Yep. Another behind the scenes, that's my guy. More just because I feel like he doesn't get the respect he deserves, and I'm talking about a cinematographer. Maybe he gets the respect he deserves. I don't know. I think he's a little underrated because this guy is. You look at the movies this guy has shot, and is he like is he like quite as flashy or as like a Roger Deakins or a Emmanuel Lubezki or whatever? No, maybe not quite as flashy or maybe not as um maybe not as amazing as them, but I think the movies he's done are stone cold classics, and he's done so many of them, and I think they are well shot. And I think if you had a different person shooting them, they would not be the movies they are today. Talking about the delicious Dean Cundy,
Yep, I knew.
who Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, The Thing,
The
Apollo
Thing,
13. I could go on and on. I mean, like, did I say Halloween? He's done tons of John Carpenter stuff. I mean, the guy is underrated. I don't think he gets the flowers he deserves, in my opinion.
Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, Jurassic Park. Like, what's going on here? What's going on? Where the lack of Cundy love? Something's up. Like, I know he's fallen off in recent years, and he's not really doing major projects anymore. But I mean, when I was looking up his filmography today, I had forgotten, and I kind of like this movie. This is more of a nostalgia thing because I watched it as a kid. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. His
Oh,
directorial effort, the direct to video Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I kind of like it. I kind of like Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves when they are in the Hot Wheels car and they go down the track. Like that's fun. That's fun.
yeah, I mean, that's a interesting trade, cinematography or
Hmm.
DP or whatever you wanna call it. Because, like, when I think Deacons, I think kinda clinical but beautiful
Hmm.
and grand. Lots of, like, grand composition and stuff.
Hmm.
And then Dean Cundey, I think a lot of character. Like, I think
Yeah.
a lot of tinged lighting. Like, I think a lot of, like, colorful flourishes. Like, Jurassic Park has elements. Um,
I
the
I, I
Thing on rewatch, when I saw that when I was a kid, it did not resonate because I was watching it on shitty VHS, but, like, watching that on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, there is so much interesting color lighting
oh
going
yeah.
on in that film.
Yep. I feel like with Cundy, whether this is a good or bad thing, I don't know, but I kind of prefer this. Like his films, I think look incredible for the most part. Like obviously I haven't seen everything, but um I find that they're shot in a way that is not so overly flashy that it's going to distract you from the story and the characters at hand. Some people like Emmanuel Lubezki or however whatever his name is, I'm butchering it.
Yeah.
Beautiful imagery, but it's the kind of thing where you are watching it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, look at that shot." And
Yeah.
that's great, but you're kind of like you're looking at now you're out of the story sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I find with Kundi, I don't ever have that issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, there's a lot of character, but there's also a lot of doing making choices in service to the storytelling.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because yeah, that is a weird feeling when you're taking in something and you find yourself pulling behind the movie and, like, trying to imagine the camera rig that was used to pull it off or something.
Yeah.
It does pull you out of it. Like, it is a fun thought experiment or something, but it does pull you out of the narrative. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, cinematography is one of those things that I could spend my whole life studying and probably never get bored of it, even though I honestly don't know that much about it, but it's a very fascinating thing because it's such a huge component of filmmaking.
Kundi seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't want to be the center of attention, so he's like,
Yeah, he
you
strikes
know
me as kinda low key,
Yeah,
and,
he's like, I just wanna shoot it well, get it done, but I don't want anybody going all over. I don't want anybody coming on a podcast and saying how great I am, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but all right.
Jan de Bont, very talented cinematographer.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like, there's a controlled motion that he incorporates into a lot of his cinematography. Also, like, he has a thing about Venetian blinds and stuff like that, that a lot of interesting shadows and stuff
Mhm,
in a lot of his compositions, but also just the the choice of, like, the camera movement and blocking of the actors and stuff. Like, it's a combination of direction and cinematography, but it's, like, super fluid and slick, but also not showy to the point where I find myself considering, like, what went into getting that shot. It's like, no, I'm just,
mhm.
like, in it with these people, and they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
they're doing a West Wing walk and talk and shit, and it's like, I'm in it,
Yep.
and the thing's moving. It's like, we got, like, the whole exposition for the whole movie out in, like, 3 minutes? Damn.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Um, got another, actress here. I've got, Jessie Buckley.
Up.
Gotta do it. I got men here.
Does she have an award named after her at Cinema Speak?
Oh, yes, yes.
What
She's
is it?
been the annual Jessie Buckley Award, and, she's been retired from the award. She was winning it. She won it 3 years in a row, and, if anybody can win that award 3 years in a row again, then they'll get it named after them, but I tell you, nobody's doing it quite like the Buck these days, and she's actually, has a Oscar, movie coming out this year, Hamnet. Not Hamlet, Hamnet, I think. Is
Hamnet.
it Hamnet? Anyway, Jeff Daniels. Uh,
Hey.
I mostly I just love him because he's a Michigan boy like myself. Um, I could pick up I've got more movies of his, but
I should have picked him because I don't know what it was, but when I was a kid in particular, like, I still feel this way, but when I was a kid in particular, for some reason, I latched onto him, and I just remember my mom being like, "Why him?" And I was like,
yeah.
I like him." Like, Arachnophobia, I made her take me to see Fly Away Home in the theater. She was like, "The fucking Goose movie?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
fucking kidding?" Like, you, son of mine, wanna see Fly Away Home?" And I was like, "Yeah, because Jeff Daniels, he's the he's the guy in Speed."
Mhm.
Like, speaking of Jan de Bont.
I definitely, can have found that whether they're from the Midwest or not, I do relate to people who have kind of a Midwest sensibility and vibe, just being from that part of the country. So especially the Michigan bump, he gets a Michigan bump for me.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
super affable.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
also just there's like a temperament or something where it's like there's a
Mhm.
cozy quality even when he's being aggressive or stern or something. There's just like an approachability or something where it's like, I wanna listen to this guy.
I mean, I'll never forget the year. I think it was uh, 2020 or 2021 because it was like, the height of COVID when they were doing the Emmys virtually and
Mm.
everybody was zooming in. And it just, I think it was like for best actor in a drama series or something. And all the nominees were zooming in and they were wearing, tuxes and they were in these very fancy living rooms, the Hollywood Hills, and then Jeff Daniels had just the flannel shirt on. He looked like he was just in his like storage room. It's just like the most.
Got
I
his
was like,
Tim Hortons
yes,
or some shit.
I loved it. I was like, yes, that is my guy right there.
Yeah, he's great. I should have picked him, although I think the only movies I have with him are, Speed and Arachnophobia.
Yep, yeah, I got both of those as well. Here's a good one. Steve Zahn.
Oh, that's another good one, shit.
Yep, I love Steve Zahn. He's definitely a guy where he pops up. I'm like, oh, I love him, and somebody I also kind of, for whatever reason, root for. Like when he had his sort of comeback with the White Lotus, I was like super excited that he was on that show, and excited that he's in the new Anaconda movie as well. Like it's cool to see him in there.
Righteous
Um,
Gemstones, he had I think a season.
oh, was he on there? I've only seen the first season of that, but
First 2
um,
are very, very good. I think it
yeah,
starts to fall off at 3. Kyle didn't even try with 4, but
yeah.
I've heard mixed reviews. Some people like it all the way through, but first 2 are very good, and
I
I think
really like the
he's
first one.
yeah, first season's excellent, second season's also very, very good, and I think he's like a antagonist in the 3rd season.
Nice. Okay, I got to check that out then. But yeah, Perfect Getaway. Have you seen this one?
No, but you've talked about it often. Like, it's one of those thrillers from the early 2000s that there was a stretch of time where we were getting a lot of them, and that you
Yeah.
made it sound exceptional.
Yeah. It's also a vacation movie. I love vacation movies. You should check this one out. This is good.
We should do a
And
review of it or something.
I'm 100% down for that. It's been
Let's
it's
do it.
been it's been a while.
Let's do it.
And last one, I mean, I definitely didn't save the best for last, although I do like him. Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon. I really like Michael Shannon. Nocturnal Animals, he's great in. I mean, Midnight Special. He's the kind of guy. Just anytime he's in a movie, I think he makes it better. And I like that he is currently touring the country as part of an REM cover band,
Holy
which I
shit.
think is pretty cool. And I would genuinely, I would truly go see him in concert if he came close to me. He hasn't done any stops in Michigan, but I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool bit, I guess. I don't know if it's a bit or if he just loves Ari. Yeah, I really don't know I don't know what the deal is, but it's
He's
pretty
another one
awesome.
of those, like, enigmas where
Hmm.
it's like, I think he gets off a little bit on being unknowable to some
Yeah,
degree because
yeah.
he's very tall and he has that gruff exterior where he's kind of an intimidating guy. He's very
Oh
good at
yeah.
playing that character,
Hmm.
but he does have a really excellent sense of humor, And I think a lot of it has to do with weaponizing his appearance and his presence
Mhm.
and just keeping people on their heels. Um, there was a funny story from the We Hate Movies podcast where I think they saw him on a at a stage play, and you know how they tell people to turn off your phones and stuff?
Mhm.
Apparently what he did is he walked out to center stage, like, when people were still, like, getting in their seats and stuff, and instead of, like, a PA announcement or something, he had, like, a flip phone, and he just, like, looked into the audience, and he, like, closed and then didn't break eye contact and just walked behind the curtain again.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
he could
Yeah.
do shit like that, but he's a tremendous actor. Like,
Yeah.
he can probably do anything, honestly, but he has just a magnificent presence on screen. He stole the show with, what was it, Revolutionary Road? He
Yep.
just, like, blows into that movie and just, like, fucks everything up.
Yeah. Take Shelter, he's great in.
Is it The Iceman, I think, was him?
Yeah, I never saw that one, but yeah,
I heard he's
he's
good
in
in
that.
that. And, yeah, you mentioned, what was it, Midnight Special? Or
Midnight Special. Oh, he's in Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. I forgot he's in that one.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
He's done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah. I didn't
So
see Shape of Water, but that seemed like kind of a slow pitch for him. So, like, I could do this material standing on
pretty much, yeah.
Be
Yep.
a monster? Bad.
Yeah. He hasn't done he's slowed down a little bit, it seems like, but
Yeah. I
um
mean, he's probably doing other stuff. It's probably,
he's playing
he's cashing
REM.
no, he's cashing those Zack Snyder checks. He's
That's
cashing
true.
those Warner Brothers checks because they brought him back for The Flash, didn't
He
they?
was in The Flash, yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know how many dump trucks of cash they had to drop off at his front door
I
because
can just imagine, like, he's like, "You want me to do what now?" Or he we
you
want you to play
want me to do what now?
we want you to be Zod again. He's like, "When was I Zod? What?"
Yeah,
He's like,
what's a Zod? What?
That's good. Yeah.
I could not believe that they got him. Like, because he just seems like the fact that he did Man of Steel alone is just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. That was
And what's more,
surprising.
it's like he tried with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Like, that
Oh, yeah.
movie's not very good, but like he knew the character. Like, he knew what
Mhm.
he was trying to do. The movie just didn't do him any favors. But you fuck. They got him. So yeah, he's probably obscenely wealthy at this point. Probably has so much stock in Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, and he's got a lot of credits too, so,
Yeah, he's doing
um,
just fine.
yeah. But that's it
Okay.
for me.
Okay. Well, I'll try to be quick, even though I pulled a lot of stuff. So I don't have that many people. We'll see what we got. So we have the Arrow 4K hard case, RoboCop, Peter Weller, and I also have these films of his: RoboCop 2 and 3, Screamers, Shakedown, which I'll show that one actually because that's kind of obscure. Shakedown with Peter Weller and Sam Elliott. It's a buddy
Mm,
cop movie, kind of.
okay.
It's not that great, but you see these two together, and it's like, I gotta know what that is. Like, come on, Screamers. I saw this when I was young. I rewatched it with Kyle. We did a review on it. It's not that great, but for some reason, this just kind of works for me. And Peter Weller's a big part of it. We also reviewed Of Unknown Origin. This is Peter Weller versus a rat. It's like Mouse Hunt, but like serious.
Mhm. I
It's
remember
a
you guys' episode on that one.
it's fun, and it's Peter Weller acting opposite a rat. That's not even on screen the entire movie, so it's like a solo kind of deal. And also Leviathan. I told myself I wasn't gonna get this so many times, and then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I should own
You
Leviathan
gotta do it.
on 4K.
Mhm.
There's so many things I wanted to be great in this movie that just aren't. The direction is it's George P. Cosmatos, and like the common thread throughout his whole career is like, I don't know if he actually made that movie. Like, that was the story with Tombstone, and it's kind of the story with this one, as far as I know. Stan Winston's effects are amazing, but they're barely on screen in this. The way this thing is edited is just wood chipper style whenever there's a monster on screen. It's disgusting.
Mhm.
Amazing cast though, and Peter Weller is at the forefront of it. I've always really liked Peter Weller. Like it helps that like RoboCop was my introduction to him, and I just adore RoboCop for some reason. Not because he's a cop, just because it's a good movie. But Peter Weller just has a quality to him that's really fascinating. You can tell he's one of those actors that like even when he's not doing anything, there's a certain stillness to him that you can see like gears turning.
Mhm.
So he does a lot with a little. Like he's one of those kind of actors where he's aware of the camera and almost never goes big with anything he does, and yet he resonates with you and he's very memorable. Um, Very good voice too. Like that was a good like his chin and his voice for RoboCop are excellent. He did get to be Batman in they did a animated version of an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns. So he has that under his belt. He got to be fucking Batman. That's kind of cool. And The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai I do not own, but that is kind of a offbeat role of his in a very, very offbeat movie. So he's a very interesting fella. Um, he has an Instagram and a YouTube channel these days that I
Yeah, you
sent
gotta
Brad a
plug
clip of.
that.
Yeah, I sent Brad a clip of it of him telling you about coffee. And he's just a cantankerous old man these days that apparently has like a PhD in Italian Renaissance art. He's a very interesting human being.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of fun to listen to him. Like I just like him. Like anytime I see him in anything, he always just grabs me in some way.
Yeah, another one of your picks who had a recurring role on Dexter as well.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
See, I don't.
yeah,
See, that's the thing is, I don't watch much TV. Like I don't watch many shows. So there's huge aspects of these people's careers that I'm simply not privy to. But that's what Brad's here for, is to help me
yeah.
out with that.
Yeah, it's actually kinda crazy looking back at how many, I don't know, you wouldn't I don't think you'd call Peter Weller a character actor or,
No,
you
I wouldn't.
know, but like, not A tier, I wouldn't even call him B tier, but just like these, like, great, like, kind of smaller performers, I guess. But how many were on Dexter at some point? John Lithgow, Ray Stevenson, Peter Weller, like, they had a pretty good bench.
Apparently, shit.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not about to watch Dexter, but kinda cool.
Just watch the Peter Weller season if you're a fan.
Okay, well, speaking of people who grab you, this is a guy who I've talked to at Brad many times over the years, and I'm especially excited these days because I've known about this guy forever, like since I was high school age, I think. But I just haven't had the opportunity to explore his filmography because not much of it has been available in our region. But these days, like the floodgates seem to be open. We seem to be getting a lot more of this guy's work. And I'm super excited because these are all movies that I've known about for half my life and just haven't had the option, haven't had the ability to check them out. And now I get to own them and watch them. So, Yusaku Matsuda, he was a style icon from the late 70s and early 80s in Japan. His visage was so famous that they actually took his likeness. He died in, I think, 88 or 89, but they used his likeness for the video game, the PS2 era video game, Onimusha 2. And his face is on the protagonist character, the player character in that game. And that came out in the 2000s. That tells you a little something about the enduring legacy of this guy's aesthetic, his
Yeah.
appearance. That, he's been dead for 20 years or so, and yet he's now the main character in a video game. And people are excited about it. And in fact, they include like one of his more famous appearances in film, Tante Monogatari. Means like detective story, basically. He has like a bucket hat and a black suit. You might be able to look it up, Brad, but it's like one of his more iconic looks. And I think if memory serves, it's one of his bonus costumes in that game. You can actually just play the game as that version of him instead of like the period like samurai garb that all the characters wear in that game. Anyway, this guy's just like the epitome of cool to me. Like when I was college age, like I saw images of this guy and I was just like, yeah, the guy's pretty fucking cool. So this is the game trilogy. This is from Arrow. I got my first, and I think to date only Radiance Blu-ray. It's The Beast to Die. Love that cover, absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
Um, Proof of the Man. This came out from Arrow only like a month ago, maybe, if not only a few weeks ago. And of course, his last film, his like one of his only international films. Proof of the Man is actually half in New York, kind of shockingly, in the I think the mid 70s. Um, Black Rain was his last film,
Oh, that's
and
right, yeah.
he had I think it was gallbladder cancer, and he was suffering with it while they were filming this. Kind of a tumultuous shoot. Ridley Scott has gone on to say he will never shoot in Japan again because there was a lot of regulations that just were not kind to him as a filmmaker. But yeah, Yusaku Matsuda is the villain in this. He he shows up for it. I wish he could do more, but kind of like when you're in horrible pain and suffering from cancer, it's probably hard to give your best,
Mhm.
especially like for like physical action scenes and stuff that are happening in the finale of the movie. But I've always just thought he was super cool. And on top of that, he's a tremendous actor. Like he has some scenes in Beast to Die that are like borderline like avant-garde, but it's like there are some choices being made here that are like Nicolas Cage level, like outside the box. And I'm totally here for it. He's amazing. And First movie I saw him in was I don't own it, but I assume it's in the Criterion Collection. It's called Family Game or Kazoku Game. Um, I had to watch it for a college class, and he's very good. That was my like aside from the video game, that was my formal introduction.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've never seen any of his stuff, but I have seen those, like, the Arrow releases coming out in recent years, and I mean, I am intrigued.
yeah, if I had to recommend, um, I would probably say Beast to Die.
Mhm,
If you're in for something a little avant-garde, uh, this is excellent. I mean,
mhm.
one, it this probably checks a lot of boxes for you, Brad, where it's like it's really intense. It's really sleazy at times, honestly. But a portion of it is a heist, like a bank heist.
Oh, okay,
Um,
I'm in.
and it's also a character study. So you spend quite a lot of time. You spend like 3/4 of this movie with this guy without having any real understanding of his motivations or his past. It's
Mhm,
not until like the final act where it's like explained to you. But like the whole way through, he's so enigmatic and so strange. It's fascinating. Proof of the Man was also very good as well.
mhm,
Very good procedural, very good detective story. Um, the game trilogy is more conventional, I guess, more conventional 1970s, early 80s Japanese like crime thriller kind of stuff. So it's like it's my bread and butter. I've seen tons of these movies, so I'm right at home with it. But you might find it a little bit dull, like
mhm.
a little boring, honestly. Uh, I'm not going to talk about each and every one of these, but because the stack is this tall,
Damn.
taller than the screen. But I have here Sunny Chiba, another Japanese actor. I should mention Yusaku Matsuda is he's mixed. He's Japanese and Korean, which I think lent a certain something to his performances, and
Mhm,
in that, especially in the time period in which he lived, there's a little bit of a societal stigma against mixed people, but in particular, like Korean people. So like his parentage, his family upbringing and stuff was kind of frowned upon a little bit. So he was a little bit rough around the edges, like legitimately, just from having a tough upbringing. Also, it lent him a very distinctive look. Like the lines of his face are like you could cut glass on his cheekbones and stuff, and very
mhm.
very distinctive note, just very iconic face. And same with Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba, I was very fortunate to be privy to a lot of his filmography, thanks to like a DVD boom that came around the time of the release of Kill Bill, because he is in Kill Bill. And of course, Quentin Tarantino loves him, loves a lot of his movies, was raised on them apparently, or watched them when he was a young man. I think Sonny Chiba is even name dropped in True Romance, which Quentin Tarantino wrote. Um, but yeah, these DVDs came out around the release of Kill Bill, like surrounding the release to like profit off of the hype train surrounding a new Quentin Tarantino movie. This is an example of one of them. I've sold most of them because I've upgraded most of them to Blu-ray, but it was part of something called the Sonny Chiba collection from Adness is the name of the company that put out these discs. Lovely discs. They did an amazing job, but since upgraded Blu-ray. But yeah, I own an obscene number of Sonny Chiba movies. Many of them are kind of like boilerplate, but there's just something about the guy. There's like a certain intensity about him, and I just love looking at his face on film. Like he has the bushy fucking eyebrows, and he's always going for broke in everything he does. Like he's one of those big actors.
Mhm.
He's always going big in everything he's doing. And I don't know if it like works for everybody, but for me, I just like seeing the guy. Like I just like him.
Yeah, I need to dip into his stuff a little bit for sure.
Yeah. And I have another smaller stack. This is another Japanese actor, is Sakaguchi. Uh, he is the lead actor in the film Versus, which did I not pull that out? Anyway, we certainly reviewed that for catching up on cinema. But funny enough, I don't think any of these movies I own have him pictured on the cover. Oh wait, this one does. Uh, this is him. That's
Mm, okay.
Sakaguchi in the 2000s. He is now 50 years old,
What was that called?
and he's
Death Trance?
yes, it is. I think you've paused every time I've held this movie up. You're like, is there literally a death trance in that film? I think that
I
was the
want
question you asked
I
last time
want
I
to
held this
know.
up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, kinda. The finale of it is you could spin that as being a death trance. The big gimmick of this movie is that, and this is kind of a thing across a lot of his filmography, is unconventional action choreography, like very unique.
Mhm.
I think he has a bit of a boxing background in real life, but it's interesting because he's 50 years old, but he's like a fixture in all of these like stunt workshops where all they do all day is like practice martial arts and come up with new ways to do things that look cool on camera. And he's like 50 years old and he has this cute little YouTube channel that he just puts out these little videos and like skits, and like half of the time it's just him eating ramen and stuff, and the other half of the time it's him throwing punches in the gym. It's
Yeah.
it's adorable. It's cute. It's called Takachano, like Tak Chanaru. So it's his name, Tak with channel. But um Yuji Shimomura did the choreography for this and Versus and many other movies that he's done. And the whole gimmick with this one is that he carries a sword with him throughout the whole film, but he doesn't unsheath it until like the final act of the movie. So he's like hitting people with it like it's a bat. And then the final act of the movie, he unsheaths it, and it's a pistol with like a 3 foot long barrel, and he gun katas people to death at the end. So it basically he had a sheathed gun the entire time.
Oh,
It's
I like
ridiculous.
that.
This is a pretty fun watch. Uh, but to this day, he continues to be not at the forefront, I guess, of like action innovation in Japan, but he works with those people. Like, for instance, oh wait, I don't. I know why I don't have it. It's because it's in someone else's stack, which is coming up.
Oh.
Um, by the way, this is Musashi. So this is a concept film he did, where this
Mhm.
is literally a 90-minute fight scene. It's he kills 400 people, and it's shot in such a way where it's uncut. So it's basically just the camera is fixated on a guy slashing people to death for an hour and a half, and he literally kills 400 people. It's kind of impressive.
I like that artwork too.
Yeah, it has since been released domestically, but I was really excited for it, so I bought the Japanese Blu-ray, and it's one of the very few instances of a Japanese Blu-ray actually having English subtitles. Not that it needs them.
Nice.
There's like no fucking dialogue in it. Uh, this is a gargantuan stack, but this is why I said I had fun making some of these picks. Is because I was like, I have that many of that guy's movies? Are you fucking serious? I didn't know that. So this,
Oh, man, look at that.
yeah, all of these movies feature an actor by the name of Masanori Mimoto. And the last, most recent catching up on cinema thing that has been published was myself and my good friend Sean Parker, talking about a movie called Prisoner of War, which is a Scott Adkins movie that just came out a few weeks ago. Not all that good, but there's a Japanese stuntman and martial artist by the name of Masanori Mimoto who's in all these movies, and he is incredible. And he's kind of similar to Tak Sakaguchi. He's like a 20-year veteran in the industry, kind of like a Scott Adkins also. You'll see that the one that says Reborn, I have two of those because, again, that was an instance of something coming out domestically when I didn't expect it to.
Mhm.
Uh, he's in that with Sakaguchi. He's also in, I think, Versus. He's also in Bad City with him. He has a scene opposite him in Bad City. And Ghost Killer just came out. I just got it in the mail yesterday, and I have yet to watch it. But long story short, he's not a flashy fella. Like he very seldom gets to headline anything, but in almost every instance he shows up when it comes to these kinds of movies, he's he stands out. He just has a certain way of moving
Mhm.
that just like grabs you where it's like, "Oh, like that escalated," or "Oh, like he's elevated in a fascinating way." Where it's like kind of like Scott Adkins. It's like there are people out there who definitely do what he does better than he does on a technical level, but there's just some sort of like extra stank he puts on his stuff that just like gets you. I'm super excited to watch Ghost Killer because he has a larger role in it, and
Yeah.
he is a decent actor on top of being an amazing martial artist on film.
He's got that it factor, that's the thing.
It is a thing, and last one been going on forever. Uh, Chad Stahelski,
Oh, okay.
largely a director. I wouldn't say he's like my favorite director or anything, but the work he's done on the John Wick films and Ballerina, which I think most people agree at this point, he directed at least a large portion of it
Mhm.
over Len Wiseman. The work he's done on the John Wick films and Ballerina has been excellent. Like in terms of directing and production design and cinematography, there's a look and a feel and a confidence in the construction of these movies that is very impressive for somebody entering the profession, relatively later in their career. I also have lumped in here with the John Wick films some on-screen roles he's had because he is a stunt player or was. He's in The Mechanic in a small role with Jason Statham. Apparently, he's in Live Free or Die Hard. I didn't know that, but that's interesting because that means he's worked with Len Wiseman prior to Ballerina. I actually didn't know that until today. And
Yeah, that is
also,
interesting.
yeah, Bloodsport 2 and 3 on DVD, and I just dropped some stuff. This is kind of where it all started. This fella on the cover here, big as life and twice as ugly, is Daniel Bernhardt. I've mentioned him many, many times. He's a fixture of the 8711/87 North stable of stunt personnel and actors and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, Chad Stahelski is I think that's actually him getting kicked right there.
Oh.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I recognize those pants and I recognize that ponytail. That is definitely him getting kicked on the cover
I
of this.
recognize those pants and that ponytail.
Well, he has very tight pants in these movies for some reason.
Yeah.
It's a really bad look. Like he I hate to say it, but he has a very punchable face in Bloodsport 3 in particular.
Mhm.
Like he's in both of these. He has multiple fight scenes in both of them, like protracted fight scenes, high quality fight scenes on top of that. But I remember watching these on like the Encore network when I was like a teenager. And I had no idea, like nobody knew who these guys were. Like I kind of knew who Daniel Bernhardt was because I'd seen him on like an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and The Matrix Reloaded. He's one of the agents in there. But Chad Stahelski, it's like it would be decades before I would look back and be like, Max Omega, the guy with the gray pants and the shitty ponytail. That's the guy who made the John Wick movie.
You would never expected it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said about Shyamalan. Like, just keep swimming. You never know where you're gonna end up. And like,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
go from
Yeah.
gray pants and ponytails to one of like the biggest action franchise on the planet. Like, there's demand for John Wick 5. Yeah, Chad Stahelski, I think is I like what he's done with those movies. I'm very curious to see what happens with that Highlander movie because
Yeah.
I don't like it could be a situation where it's like he only does one thing. Where it's like he has a safety zone and then beyond that it's like I don't know, man. I've seen interviews with the guy and he comes across he's a very intense man. He's not afraid of laughing and stuff, but like very intense, very driven guy. So I could see him just being pretty good at this directing thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a Highlander fan. I've never seen the original, so I won't have. I mean, I probably will watch it before the new one, but I don't have anything to compare it to. So, I'll be going in mostly fresh. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I could say a lot about the Highlander movies, but I enjoy them in spite of their flaws. I'll just
Hmm.
say that, of which there are many. But it's delayed because Henry Cavill got injured apparently.
Was he playing Warhammer? That's how he got injured.
Well, no, the I think the official unofficial explanation is probably he probably wanted a break to play Warhammer.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "What do I gotta do to get out of here? Chad's driving me up the walls. I'll break my own ankle.
Yep, yep,
Go paint some minis. Got my 3D printer. Got my paints. Good
yep.
times for the next 3 months or whatever."
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that was a really long one, but let's wrap them up, Brad. Thank you again for joining me. Uh,
yeah.
Again, I
Hey,
didn't expect you to, but like I'm so glad you were able to.
hey, you know me, I commit to the bit, and I said I got to be here. So I'm glad this was a fun one. This was a cool, you know, uh, unique theme for the month. I liked it.
Yeah, it
So
was fun
good,
getting
good
to
on you.
Yeah, it was fun getting to explore some new stuff.
Hmm.
Talk about Ann Dowd and Michael Smiley.
Exactly.
I'm really glad you brought up Michael Smiley because like I did actually say that when I saw him in Alien Earth. I was like, hey, this guy's good in everything.
Yeah,
And sure enough, she was like, I like him. I
that's
want
my
more of
guy.
him.
That's my guy.
But yeah, before we go, hey Brad, how about you tell people where they can find you and your amazing podcast?
Yeah, so it's the Cinema Speak podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. You can find us on Twitter at the Cinema Speak, Instagram Cinema Speak Podcast, YouTube as Cinema Speak, and you can find us on the web at cinemaspeak.libsyn.com.
All right. And you getting back in the saddle this week or you got a break?
Yeah, I got an episode coming out hopefully Thursday, if not Friday. So yeah, there's we don't take any time off for Cinema Speak. We continue to pump out content.
Well, your friends did an amazing job covering for you last week.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, that was terrific.
I still
Anyway,
haven't listened to it, so I don't even.
I mean, you were a little busy getting married and shit.
Yeah, I should have listened to it on the ride back from up north, but I kind of forgot about it until you just mentioned it.
You're like, oh yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I'll listen to it at work tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun to listen when it's not you.
Yeah, exactly.
As for myself, I'm not even gonna give myself a single 'cause, catching up on cinema is not posting on any sort of schedule these days. It's kinda like when it comes, it comes. So don't bank on weekly episodes. Sorry, Brad. I know you probably have, like, a time slot you're trying to fill in your work schedule or whatever.
I
It's like,
I
what am
I
I
have
supposed to listen to?
I have not gone to the gym since you've stopped posting, so I
I'm
don't know how
sorry. So
to
you're gonna get soft on me? You're gonna get
No, no.
flabby because I'm not supplying you with podcasts?
All good, all good.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm posting sporadically, trying to get back to it because I like this. It's fun,
Mhm.
clearly. Um, but yeah, it's my show's called Catching Up on Cinema. We're available on pretty much every podcasting platform you can imagine. Lately, we've been doing more stuff on YouTube. So same deal with the YouTube channel. It's Catching Up on Cinema. So check me out whenever I put stuff out, which is sometimes. That being said, thank you so much for listening and or watching, and we'll catch you next.